right, y'all.
Man, that damn intro was nice.
No, that's not the one I wanted though.
Man, what? Let me have that.
I like that beat.
That shit, I'm grooving over here, dog. Man, that shit hit hard, bro. That's nice. I like that.
All right. So the first thing I'm starting to learn about these books is the most important part of these books. Oh, I should have brought this up in Edge. Can I highlight in this thing? Oh, I can. Okay. So the best thing about these books is the very front part. So this book, the historical researches on the conquest of Peru, Mexico in the 13th century by the Mongols by Bogota, Nachas, and Talmikio, right? So when you look at, so I mean, it has a lot of the contents and stuff, but the most important part of all these books is going to be the introduction. So in this introduction, on number 8, let me see, halfway down. So before I was talking about when Columbus first goes to the New World and everywhere he went, it was not known that the world was there. And that's when we looked at the 1474 Toscanelli map, where it doesn't show America. And that's one of the maps that Columbus used. So right about here, it goes over that same thing in this book. Did I do that right? Oh, I did. Okay, cool. Where it says, no land of importance was known to the Greek or Romans west of the shores of Africa. So right here, it's telling you point blank that it was not known. So it can't be the old world because nobody knew about it. None was discovered by them on the east beyond the longitude 120 degrees from Greenwich at most. Right here, it goes over one of the reasons why Columbus went, which is, and I do have this book as well. I got to dig into that one, but it's Marco Polo in the 13th century extended our knowledge to Japan, and no other discovery except the Azores was made until the year 1492. So this right here tells you point blank that the land wasn't. Oh, why did my highlight mess up? I need to highlight this for next time. So the land wasn't known. So this directly combats this is the old world because nobody knew about it. So nobody, of course, didn't write about it before 1492. And that's corroborated with the Toscanelli map, with different writings, even Marco Polo. So now once you get to, let's see, I got this on my phone. Let's see, page 11. So 10, 11. See, this might be a little different. No, it should be the same. Oh, right here. Page 11. Why did I write this? So this one, I highlighted it, but why did I understand the earth was... Oh, right here. So do I need to bring up that map or to kind of explain that?
Yeah, you can if you want to.
For the family.
Okay, so what I'll do is I'll explain it first, and then I'll bring up the map. So right here is telling you, although Anaximander had taught, and at this period, there was no doubt in the minds of persons reflection and understanding that the earth is spherical. It was not until the voyage of Magellan in that year that it proved to be so. So when you're looking at, let me see if I can bring up that map. What was it? Map? Mommy? Old map. Hold on, let me just take this downstairs real quick. And then I'll bring up maps. And I'll kind of explain why Columbus and everybody thought they were going to India. And that's going to be another thing that I tackle as well, is this book talks about Hindustan. That's another big argument. They'll say that India wasn't India. It was called Hindustan. and that leads them to believe that it was India's superior, and that's why they called all the black people Indians. I'm not sure exactly how they worked themselves up with that one because it doesn't really make sense until I saw it in this book. So, here we go. Okay, here we go. So, maps of the old world. Where is it? Old world maps. Can y'all see this or no? Is it still?
No, you good, man. Keep going.
Wait, I don't see the map.
Not the map. No.
Okay. See how I can bring that one up. Let's see. It is right here, Tuscan Alley. What, I have to bring it back down and reshare?
Yeah, you got to stop sharing this screen and then go to another one.
Okay.
Peace to the chat.
So then,
Peace, y'all.
so present. Share it again. Oh, let me close that. You don't need to see that one. Oh, you know what? I'll just do the entire screen, right? Would work.
Yeah, you can share the whole screen.
Okay.
Yeah, just make sure you ain't got your personal
Yeah.
shit up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take all that shit down.
Okay, so you can see the map.
Not right now. Soon you sharing it? Is Soon sharing? You probably gotta wait for him to share it for you, bro.
Okay.
You might be on pause or something. Peace, family. What it do? Peace to the chat.
Welcome back.
There you go.
There we go. Push.
All right, so you can see it.
Yeah, you
All
good.
Yep, you good.
Okay, so this is that Tuscan Alley's map. So when you're looking at the Columbus journals, this is one of the things he brought. So right here, where they said it wasn't up until 1521, where, let me see, and you can, I don't close that one too. I don't need that presentation up. Oh, here. So you can see both? No.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
whenever you flip
Okay.
it.
You back at the book now,
All
right?
right. Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
So that's what's explaining with this right here, where they're talking about that they thought the Earth was spherical, and it wasn't until the voyage of Magellan in the year 1521 that it was proved to be so. So at the time, they thought it was flat, which leads a point to this map. When Marco Polo first did his voyage, he did it all over Asia, which is right here, this part and this part. So when Tuscan Alley took that, he took that concept, as well as they took a globe. So Columbus took these two items when he left. So that's why it looks like this. So what's happening is you can't see, like right here in the middle, America is supposed to sit right about here. So he didn't know. So as he was going and he stopped in the middle, he thought he was in India. And that's the reason why it looks like this. So when a lot of people say that it wasn't called India, that's a lie. Because according to this map, it was, I believe it was 1474. Here, let me zoom out. Yeah. So in 1474, this map was used, and it clearly says India.
Mhm.
And there is no America on here at all.
That actually was India to the known world at the time, with no knowledge of the Americas at that time, right?
Correct.
Damn.
So
what these jive ass turkeys talking about, Rob?
So I'm gonna show you where we at. So now that we got the map, so now we're gonna go further down, which we're gonna go to page 26. So page 26. So they skip all this introduction because this introduction pretty much lays out what they're reading. But when they go get these pages from someone, they skip over all the good information. So you always want to make sure you read the preface. Is it preface or preface?
I say both.
Yeah, I've heard both.
So you always want to look at that. or the introduction. It's going to tell you about the book. It'll tell you if it's just their opinion. It's going to tell you if they draw on another work, such as We Come from America, and he just totally ripped off John Boyd. But right here, he tells you, let me see, highlight. The spelling of Spanish and Indian names in this volume may not always exactly correspond with the Spanish authors. The writer, not being acquainted with their language, and just do that. Here we go. Not acquainted with their language, has made use of French or English translations. So right here, he's telling you that he didn't really know, so he's translating it off of another person's, or he's reading it from another person's translations off the thing. So now, whenever the word Indian occurs, it must be considered to mean American Indians. This is general name being applied without distinction to the most civilized as well as to the most savage inhabitants, and in many instances, completely confuses the notions of the reader. So when they don't understand this part, because it's telling you that whenever they say Indian, they're referring to American Indians. Now, once you know that, you go to, let me see, chapter, what was that, 12. And this is where it starts to break apart. And you start to notice they're not paying attention. Well, I'm not going to say not paying attention, but they're given a script and they're reading the script. I should just do fine. But if I go to chapter 12, what page is that? 456. So on page 456, hold on, let me put my mouse in before I end up getting a hand cramp. So this book right here is really damaging whoever uses it. And it hurts any kind of argument they may have. Because on 456, so remember, Indian means American, Indian American. So on 456, tag on, man, this thing right here. Did I go too far? I just scroll down from here. All right, one more. Okay, three more. 55. Right here. So now, on the population of America, it tells you right here. In the course of these researches, it has not appeared that when Columbus discovered America, it contained either a white man, a Negro, or other black man. And this is very a wonderful event when we consider the extremes of the climate. The complexion of the Americans, which are Indians, is of a reddish brown, nearly resembling the color of copper. The hair of their heads is always black, long, and coarse. They are said to have no beards. So now, in the very beginning, it said that, the Indians are the American, what is it? The Indians are the American Indians. So now it's making a distinction again. So there's not a Negro, there's not a white man, but there are Indians and also names to color. So now we have Negro right here, which, according to the etymology and history, a Negro is a descendant of Africa. So they're saying there's no Africans here. That's what this book is telling you about the population. So, there is also 471. He continues, and it goes right in alongside of history that we've read before. So right here, this. As this examination of the languages was made between 2 and 3 centuries after the conquest by the Spaniards and the introduction of Negroes, many of the 55 roots, not Asiatic, may be attributed to people who arrived in the New World after the discovery of Columbus. So right here, he's telling you there was nobody else but the American Indians. No Negroes. No white people.
No Negroes. Y'all hear that?
None.
None. Because the land of the Negroes is where, family? In Africa.
So now there is another passage in this book where it talks about Columbus and the discovery. Let's see, I have the other one. It's called History of America, but there's a footnote that he used, which is India. That's it. So let's do a find. Oops. India. Okay, cool. Go all beginning. There's a passage in here, and it tells you, because this one they talk about Hindustan. Let me see, is it right in the beginning where it actually shows the picture? Because I have the map that they use as well, where they talk about Hindustan. Yes. So right here. So let me see if I can zoom in.
Hold on, what's the year of this map?
So this one is, oh damn, why did I do that? So this should be the same. Dang, and highlighted the wrong damn thing. I don't know if it says it on this one. I believe it's 15 in the 1500s. And there's a reason why.
Is Arabic on there?
Silk Road map right here.
Yeah, right here.
It's that Silk Road joint, right?
Yep, right in here. Yep, that's the Silk Road right here, and then it goes all through here. But that does say.
Hold
see
on,
how
hold
it
on.
says,
Did everybody see where you pointed that at? Can I?
what, the Silk Road?
Your cursor.
Oh, the Silk Road is everything in here.
There you go.
There's is the trail.
Y'all
or
see
it's
that?
like this.
So this
Yeah.
is way before the coastal enslavement that ensued on the west coast of Africa, and those ancient African trade routes later led up across those Silk Roads, and that's when you see the Bantu getting kidnapped and sent to Iraq and all of that other stuff. But yeah.
See, I'm not sure what year he used for this map, but it has to be a newer map. I'll go into that one, why. But I want you just to notice, see, they have already got the Strait of Gibraltar here, how it's separated. Whenever they were doing the New World, it started out here, what they thought it was. And then over time, they started to get more and more knowledge of the maps. Where was I? Oh, they started to get more and more knowledge of the maps. This one's more defined, and you can tell because they literally mapped North America. They mapped all the sides of it. They got it all down here. They didn't do this in the beginning, so it's going to be around 1500 or later.
Yeah. So okay, so that's, you said 1500
or later. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense, because Henry, remember, it was only 100 years ago where the Portuguese and Henry and them was on the west coast, and they were the ones that kind of went down on that west coast, south of Cape Verde, and they crossed the equator and all that shit, and ended up doing a whole roundabout up into that area. So yeah, that's when you would see a whole map like that, because they were just doing that. That I guess the age of exploration is what
Right.
you would call this part. Yeah.
So that's why. And then with the other maps that I've seen, it's just too detailed. They got all the lines. They pretty much map. They mapped America the way it looks today. They even got the Great Lakes in here. So somebody went in there and they did all the detail. You wouldn't see this in the earlier periods of time. So right here, it says Hindustan or Hindustan. So this is one of the maps that they use. So they haven't figured out that each place or each map inventor coming from a different area would do a map based on explorations or navigations. So you might have someone in China doing a map. You'll have someone in Spain doing a map, someone in Italy, just like Toscanelli. He did his map. But when they see Hindustan, one trick that I do, because ever since I learned about the mishap with Van Sertima, I started to spot it. So right here is where they actually called the West Indies, right here. So in this area, such was the ignorance of the most seditious geographer that ever appeared, respecting the extent of the earth, that he supposed himself arrived in the Mongol Empire when he was 150 degrees short of it. So this is alluding to the part where Columbus thought he was going to Asia, because that's where the Mongol Empire was, according to Marco Polo, his view on Asia. Now, I do need to jump into more of the Marco Polo book that's actually going to map Asia, and that's the reason the cartographers are going off of that, because he pretty much walked over Asia. So now, one key is down here. It says Robertson, Volume 1, and that's where it talks here. So down here, it tells you Columbus, from this mistake and the similarity of the pepper birds, crocodiles, called the country West India. So right here, it's saying, right here, that he called it the West Indies. So now when you hear people say that it wasn't called India until the 1960s and the 1970s, it was called Hindustan. So it's pretty much coming off of this book, is what they're saying. Now, let's show you this, because this one, if they went just one step further, it would explain West India as well as everything else. So I actually have that text. So let's go to my debunk files. Let's go to my Columbus History of America. So now it says that this one is Volume 1, page 111. So we'll go to Volume 1, which is this, and it's the History of America, Book 1 by William Robertson. I think it's William Robertson. So now you go to page 111. Let's see what he actually wrote. Does that say 312? Man. Oh, yeah. Let me go back up here. Okay. So down here. All right, one more page. Now, this directly answers, was there an India, or was it all called Hindustan, or India Superior? So right here, let me see, which one did I underline? Right here. And let me highlight it. Man, this highlighting is messed up. All right. So the palmetto of the islands, and I'm still not sure why in the old text they're F's or S's.
I can't get over that either.
Yeah, I thought I was going crazy like in some of the old.
It'll mess you up.
Iflins.
Yeah, because like they literally have an S right here. So the Iflins, but the islands, the islands, he managed to be a species of the East Indian pepper. He mistook a root from what resembled rhubarb for a valuable drug, which was then supposed,
yeah.
Okay. Supposed to be a plant peculiar to the East Indies. The rich plumage that distinguishes those of India. So he's telling you that there is an India. It's not a Hindustan. It's India. So there was an India that he was looking for. So now it goes into what he was saying here about the alligator right here. This piece right here, the pepper, birds, crocodile. So I just read about the peppers. So now the alligator of the one country appeared to be the same with the crocodile of the other. After weighing all these circumstances, not only the Spaniards, but the other nations of Europe seemed to have adopted the opinion of Columbus. The countries which he had discovered were considered a part of India. So the reason why he did that, let me do this because it's going to come up again because there's a lot of people saying it's not India, it's Hindustan. This is telling you that's wrong. He said it's considered a part of India. And the reason why it's considered a part of India is because, according to this map, they thought they ran into India. Right there.
Yeah.
So that's the reason they keep saying that, is they don't know about this map. They don't know the history behind this map. They don't know that Columbus carried this map. And they're going off of that book. They're going off of this book and what he says, and they don't take this next step and looking at this actual source, because he left it out on here. He doesn't even say India on here. He says Hindustan. So when anybody brings that up, it's not called India. It's called Hindustan. That means they didn't go far enough. And he tells you. And then it also follows up with, in consequence of this notion, the name of Indies is given to them by Ferdinand and Isabella in a ratification of their former agreement, which was granted to Columbus upon his return. So they're pretty much telling you they messed up, or they did mess up. They just thought it was there. They thought it was America was India. And it wasn't until some time later that they changed it. So now we get into...
Wait, it's one more part on there.
Did I miss one?
Yeah, look, go down some.
Oh, even after the error which gave rise to this opinion was detected and the true position of the New World. Oh, yeah. Good catch. So even after the error, so now they found out, which gave rise to this opinion was detected and the true position of the New World was ascertained, the name has remained, and the appellation of West Indies is given by all people of Europe to the country, and that Indians to its inhabitants. So they never changed it. They saw it. It was like, we messed up. You know what? Just leave it.
Yep.
I actually need to highlight that.
That's a big dagger, yo.
Yeah. And where is it? Did I just lose my highlight? Ain't that part of it? Oh, there it is. So yeah, so when they use this source, because this is one of the sources they use all the time, there's, what was that, 5 different things? Because they normally, what they do is they normally look at, I guess they look at the animals, and they also use portion of it to say what the color of the Indians after they scrub out Negro. So now, which brings to the different map that they use to try to drive this home. Let me see if okay, those are the screenshots. Was it this one? This. All right. This one. You will see that?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this map was well, actually I'll just go to it. So myoldmaps.com. And then I think that'll probably be better. Because one thing they do is they don't read the accompanying thing, which most likely from what I've seen, they pass around. Oh, there it is. The globe. That's the other thing that Columbus took. So since they pass these screenshots around and they pick and choose, they miss very detailed what's the word? Context for the map. So that was in 1530. Which one was it? Glare me out. It's Guayacoma. It's the Guayacoma map. Am I seeing it? Hold on. GIA. That might be it right there. Okay. Right. It's this one. No. All right, here, let me just see. Yeah, so this is the same map I just showed. So in this map, I'll go over a little back and then I'll bring up the text as well. But you see how all of this is one landmass?
Mm-hmm.
When he did it, he took information that they knew at the time, and he literally just made it one landmass. So when you look at it, what they go off is they say it's all Hindustan because it's labeled Hindustan on the top up here. I think it might be in the text.
Mhm.
It's labeled Hindustan, and they say, oh, Hindustan was in America. Let's see. Okay, let me see. Like right here. Oh, right here. Number 9, India Superior. So somebody writes India Superior right here on their map, and see how it says number 9.
Mhm.
And see how that's supposed to be North America here, and it's supposed to be South America. They say that it was together. So on this map, again, one of the best things to do is look at the very beginning of it. So right about, is it here? He tells you there's an issue with this map. Right here. So the description. This sea chart of the world depicts the entirety of the continental northern landmass as an unbroken ring around the globe. North America and Asia form a single mammoth continent, which in turn connects to North Europe via Greenland. An Asia-America connection began by Christopher Columbus, was a standard concept, and one which Garibaldi was a particularly strong endorser. Although he completed changed his position 20 years later and separated North America from Asia. So he did this. Oh, wait, actually, this map's linking of North America and Europe is highly unusual. However, but was a natural consequence of 2 errors on the east. Garibaldi depicts Greenland as an elongated east-west outgrowth of Scandinavia, a particular pattern used by, I'm going to butcher that one, Waldseemüller. I don't know what that is. Earlier in the century. On the west, he adopts I'm just going to skip that, model for North America, which has been sanctioned by Sebastian Munster in 1540 and many others before and subsequently. In combination, these 2 flawed elements stretched over the North Atlantic and quite logically joined. So pretty much what that is he messed up. He did this just off of what he heard, but this is the map they use. And what makes it so bad is, and this is why this is engineered, there's literally all these maps. So someone literally had to go through each map to find one that fit what they needed. Because these are all maps.
Mm-hmm.
Damn. That's motive.
Oh yeah.
I mean, there's another map. I looked at one earlier because I was like, see, let's see the progression of the map.
I was about to say, yeah, like over time, until they get the more information they got, the more the map just filled out over time, and they were going based off of word of mouth prior to them traveling every damn where and mapping it out.
Correct. And then this is 1502, so this is a few years after Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
So you see how it's not filled out, and then you go here and there's the Hispaniola. It should be Hispaniola down here, but there's Africa,
Mm-hmm.
and they're starting to navigate on this side. And then, during those, I think that should be, that's South America right here. So Columbus, the last time I showed like his route where he went down, then you also had explorers that went down and they actually mapped this. And you see how nothing's filled out here? It's because they didn't look at it. They literally didn't go there.
Yeah. That was before
And
they
then-
got Peru and saw them over there cross-dressing.
Yeah.
Throw that in there.
So then we have, this is 1502 to 1504. Same thing. So each place, they didn't know what it looked like. They were just going off of someone coming back and say, hey, I went here and this is what I saw. And these are all maps. This is 1508, what it looked like. You see, they were still trying to figure it out. Now that one just looks like a blob. But it's not connected.
I didn't know.
Okay, so you saying the stuff to the left is supposed to be America. Yeah, right where your thinking is. That's
Right here.
supposed to be South America.
And the known world, like that's what the known world known of whatever they were able to get to at that.
Yeah,
What it do?
What's up, brother?
Let's
Their
What's
interpretation of
This
it,
is
right?
this is 1500.
go on. Let's see.
Okay, it's blank now. We gotta wait for it to load.
YouTube.
It's like you go to the hood and you just draw what you see.
So, and these also
come
come
back.
accompanied.
Draw some more.
Right. So right here.
Right.
Yeah. And that's what they were doing. They were
Mhm.
just getting the information and then it'll come back because the map maker, for the most part, wasn't going out there. He would get just bits and pieces here and there and saying, okay, you saw this, you saw that. Does it look like this? Yeah, it looks pretty cool. All right, go back out there.
Just more. Is it any goal?
So this one says for this description of this map, which is this, and this is the Rosalie map in 1508. The oval planisphere of 1508 by Francesco Rosalie is important for several reasons. First, it is among the earliest printed maps that depict the New World. It is also the first map of the world to display and set in order the world surface of the globe framed. Let me see if I can make this bigger. There we go. Now I can see it better. So the globe was framed inside a cartographical grid that encompasses all 360 degrees of longitude and all 180 degrees of latitude. Moreover, Rosalie was the first to employ the oval form of the cartographical grid, assimilated to a kind of oval projection, later used by some of the greatest 16th century cartographers, including Guillaume Battista, Aganis, Benedetto, Bourdon, Munster, Gastaldi, which is the same one that we just looked at where he combined everything, and Ortelius. This map presents very relevant cosmographical contents updated during Columbus's fourth voyage in 1502. So Columbus got back and he told him he found a little something. And following the cosmographical indications of the navigator, it locates Columbian place names on the Asiatic coastline. And at the same time, following the cosmographical suppositions of Americo Vespucci, which that's what they said they named America after, presents the Mundus Novus as a new continent beyond the classical ocean of Europe, Africa, and Asia. So this is saying that they actually acknowledged at this point in 1508 that it is a brand new continent.
See, so with more information, they knew what was up. The less information they didn't have. So a lot of these motherfuckers was going over there getting lost.
Yep.
Because they didn't have enough information on them damn maps.
Some of them may even make it back.
Didn't make it back and all types of shit because the maps was fucked up. And this map was probably one of the most dependable maps around that time. So that's when that shit started everything started kicking in gear. Because this is around the 1500s. So this is them pretty much conquering the known world. And now they're trying to do the takeover. You see that it's weird, man. But the motherfuckers was getting lost, shipwrecks, all types of shit that was going on. But before it got to this point where they can depend on these maps,
and pirates at this time too. Pirates were a big thing. So not only were they going and try to navigate, they also had people trying to steal their boats. And with those privateers, they had like cannons and all that other stuff that you would see. So I mean, I guess I was stressful, but you know, to hell with them because what they did to people. So to hell with them.
Fuck them. But you know, you had some black. I'm trying to research as much as I can. You had some black sailors out here too,
right? So what it was at the time of, you know, around the 1520s up until the 1600 when they're on the land of Hispaniola. Some people that fled went to be pirates. So around 1600s was like almost like the golden age of pirating, around your 1600s. You know, the blacks or the Negroes would choose pirate life because that was better than, you know, staying where they were. So that's where you have your Black Caesar, which they're confusing with the actual Caesar for. Goddamn, I don't understand.
Yeah, I got a whole video on Black Caesar. Two of them. It's actually two Black Caesars.
Right. So that one I do want to get into the golden age and seeing about the pirates, because coincidentally, what I found out was when I was talking about the Ganaches up in the Canary Islands, I was talking to one of my friends. He's really good at this stuff. But those islands, like the Cape Verde Islands, was actually pirate outposts. So, yeah, the Canary Islands, the Cape Verde, there was a lot of outposts there. So I do want to go back to, you know, verify and look into that. But he was like, yeah, definitely check out pirating, especially around that area, because there was just, I think he was like the Dutch was like notorious for it.
Oh yeah, it will take a ship and that shit will end up in the Americas quick.
Yeah, Debo.
Matter of fact, the first, the Debo, man, like the first Africans that was in New York was part of that pirating shit that was going on.
Correct.
Yeah.
So like, so this is what I wanted to show. Like, you see how this map looks. So in 1511, I can't make no sense of this thing. So each person had their own interpretation of these maps. You know, the more you come through, and that's why, you know, for someone to pick that map, it had to have been planned. And see, like, this is a map as well. So these are all maps that you can go through. One of the other maps are going to be, so the first one I showed was the Giacomo map, and it said 20 years later he changed his map. So right here, so it was like the 1548. But then after that, you got Michael, you got this type of map. And see, so each one's putting their own spin on it. And that's supposed to be America, it looks like, yeah. So that's going to be.
That was doing the Spanish, right? You can tell because that's Spanish Florida.
Yep.
Like the Spanish Florida map. It makes sense.
So there,
that's the T American. That's the T American map. The T American map, yo.
Oh, is it?
I mean, it is like this is not it. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah.
It's mapped out the same way, and this was during the same time.
That looks like a snake right there.
Or a dragon.
Yeah. But yeah, so see.
It's supposed to be like a river or something?
Yeah, that's going to be the river.
All right.
But yeah, so they got all these maps, you know, from the old world, or not the old world, from back then. And it just gets, just depending on who's doing them, but they actually chose that map.
Yeah, that was a strategic move right there. Somebody is just, there is some, that's how hard we got to work just to.
So here you go. So look at this. This
what
is
year
one
is
I
this?
saw. So this is the 1569 Mercator's map. I was looking for any map that had India on it, because one of the main arguments is it was only called Hindustan until the 1970s, and I was like, that don't sound right. 1900s for India, because India's been around for a long time. You know, when you get into like the Vedas and the I can't say it right, but Bhagavad Gita, or the Incas. When you start study that, I had a class on that. So when I had that class, one of the things I know is like they did call it India. So I'm not sure what Hindustan was, I know they use Hindu, but that whole thing just didn't seem right. And I hope I've shown that it was always called India. It just depends on who's actually saying it. Like Persia called it Hindustan, but the Italians, or at least Spaniards, or Spain, called it India. Marco Polo called it India. Everybody around that time called it India. So that they're capping big time. And they're trying to spin that narrative, and they're stuck because they only look at that weird map. But this map,
this was quite compelling, Rob. Straight up.
Right. Yep. So
Very
here
compelling.
it actually shows, like, you can actually, let me just do a control find India. Yeah, India's here, all through here. Extremity of India. So it's just like Africa. India's all over this place. It's not Hindustan. Well, that's Indians. But yeah, it's all over here. So they need to believe that for some odd reason. And you see this one's a little better mapped out. And this is around the time, what was that, 15, what did I say it was? 1569. This is the Mercator's map.
Makes so much sense. Because we looked at, like, it makes sense, man. If you look at those accounts of the Spaniards and where they were at and which part, I mean, it just tell you, like, they like, if it ain't written down, they weren't there, and if they didn't have any record of it. So what year you said? 1519? You said this was?
So this is 1569.
Yeah. So a lot of those territories weren't mapped out.
And that's what makes it so weird, because if this is 1569 and this one's saying India, they're stuck. What was that one? 1540. So it's like they're not upgrading or something. This one's 1548, or let's see, 1548. Was it this one? Oh no, this is the other one that he did. He did, I believe it was like 50 total. I'm actually show y'all that one because I did see that. He actually made different modifications to maps. And it's clearly India. Clearly. So
another thing that probably messes them up and helps them deceive people is they think that whenever somebody like officially does something with the United Nations, or some people come together, build embassies in each other's land or whatever, and they start putting stuff on paperwork, they think that's when it started.
Right.
So they be like, oh, they didn't do this until 1910 or this until 1950 or whatever. But that's just when it was put on paper for it to be more stamped. They were already calling it India before that, way before.
And real quick, I want to slow you down real quick. Now, I want y'all to all notice this shit, man. Like really. Look how long, like, Africa has been mapped out. Like, that goes to show you that, like, in the colonial era and that imperialistic era, like, Africa just been attacked for so damn long before the rest of the world was even known of. Go ahead, bro.
One of the things also with that is at a point they couldn't go into Africa for diseases, and it's the same way as like in America. It's like each place was cordoned off. Like when they went to when they first went to America, they gave the natives diseases, they caught diseases. It was the same thing when they went to Africa. I can't remember what year it was, whenever some kind of medication was made, that they were able to go in there.
Yeah.
But that was one of the things. But yeah, it's always been something. But yeah, so this is the thing right here. So this map is at 1548. So they're stuck on this map with the Hindustan, and this is the one that they show by saying, oh, India's superior, India's superior. It's all the same. But then I showed that he messed up. He split it later. They're not moving past this. So they're stuck at 1548. Everything else moved on. So this is well calculated. And if you're not aware, you might get caught in that, because there's been quite a few people that did different TikTok videos and saying it's India superior, and that's the reason why they call them Indians. It's a half truth. You know, yes, they called them Indians because they thought they were in India.
Yeah,
not
they
North
literally
America.
thought they were in India. They made a mistake, and that mistake has got us calling them Indians.
That's what I keep telling them. They're like, no, we're not Native Americans. We're Indians. That's what we are. And I'm like, okay, well, you do know the European called you Indian. So now you're taking on the colonizer name.
Right.
Like they do everything to disassociate themselves with Africa just to pick up European habits and traits. I don't get this shit.
Yeah.
It's like you're lost, just like they was. If you're saying this is India's superior,
And they be happy saying it. We're Indians. We're Indians. Dude, that's a misclassification because he got lost.
You got lost,
Right.
yo.
And this is the last thing I want to show about these maps.
This is
And
all from the same site.
This is a different one. So this is, I actually searched his name
Mhm.
because in here, so this guy has maps, but it looks like he doesn't have every single map. If it does, it's I don't know what the name of it is, because I did not see the Guayacoma map.
Mhm.
It says 4, but he made 50. Oh wait, maybe it's this one. No, so he made 50 different maps. So when I looked up his name and did maps, they're actually selling for a pretty penny.
Oh yeah.
Look at that. So
Yeah,
these are your original maps.
expensive.
So one of the things I wanted to see is I wanted to nail home the whole India argument, because that is it's a crutch argument for them. You know, the Indios, and they start trying to break down the word Indian. It's just Indian. Stop making it something else. Stop complicating it. It's freaking Indian. And you ain't it. But right here, he has a map. The first map of India. So when you click on it, it was first published in 1548. And it literally says on the map Day India. And that is India.
Mm.
It's not Hindustan. It's not whatever it is. It's literally the map of India in the same year.
Now, why would they need a map of India at this time? What was going on around that time? Silk Road shit? The trade? Had to be some type of trade for them to be mapping out India, right?
Well, India's been mapped out for a long time. Because like I said, Marco Polo did his exploits. Do I have that book?
Well, wasn't they weren't they trying to get to India, right? But they went the other route. So I mean, I'm just looking for motivations of them. You know what I'm saying?
So Marco Polo. Let me see. Did I drag this one over? Marco. Oh, I didn't.
Like we trying to tell y'all, they had no clue fucking America was over here. This was a mistake. This was a mistake. A perfect mistake.
Where they maps at anyway?
Right. Shout out to Rob.
You talking about the Black Indigenous map?
Yeah, I got
That's
a
the
map.
map.
Yeah.
That's the map
If you left and the rest of the world is just catching up and you were here first, you should have maps.
Oh
You
damn!
shouldn't be looking for maps from other people.
Hold up, that's a good one.
No, they do.
What
got
was
a
y'all
map.
maps on how y'all got over here?
So this is the map that they use right here. I saw this. I saw this as well.
What, you getting it from UB News?
No, I saw someone's video where they were trying to explain it, and
That map you just showed was UB News, though.
Oh, this one?
No.
Oh no,
Black,
the other maps.
The black one you just showed.
The very first one that was from this side. I only used this one, my old maps.
No, you just showed one right before you went to this, right? This image.
Oh, this one's on Hemlock. Yeah, it's oh, I'm sorry. Helmic.com, map maker.
You didn't see it because it already moved. And it's not it was a black and white little map, an image on there.
Oh,
and they took that shit from UB News.
Yeah.
Shout out to Rob with his fucking land navigational skills over here.
Yeah, it's up here. That at the top, that map.
This?
So they stole this image from this slavevoyage.com.
Oh no. I'm gonna show you what they I'm gonna show you the image that they use. I don't know if it's the correct. Oh yeah. So it looks something like this. It looks something similar to this
Mhm.
without words. It's a little less detailed than this, but what they do, dang, hold on. Let me see if I can get an accurate one, because there's a very vital question you need to ask whenever they show it. And I always wish I can catch them in real time. Okay, I guess that I have to do. No, that's the currents.
Are them niggas saying they went the other? That's their route to get over to Africa in reverse.
Yeah, yeah,
Some motherfucker. I knew you was getting at that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's bullshit.
I'm just trying to find. You know what? Let me see if I do.
But
It's
they
the
don't
current.
have any maps though, right?
No
right,
maps.
They don't. They
I'm
don't.
saying, like, they don't have.
No
I'm
boats.
talking about
Where
like,
y'all
their
boats at?
Indian family. Somebody should have a map, like on some type of quilt,
We
something,
need them niggas
some
boats.
goat skin,
Mo, we need to find their boats.
bison
Mo.
skin,
Oh,
something.
okay.
Where's the maps at?
That's
You
a
can't
good
go get
point.
somebody else's map.
That's a good point. Where's y'all maps and y'all
Let me
boats?
find the best one. So the best one to use.
Niggas talking about our boats and ships. Where the fuck y'all shit at?
They got boats too.
What the
I'm
fuck?
just asking.
Right.
If you got a boat and a
It's
map,
much
brother, 'cause it seems
easier
like you
for
keep
us to
on
get from here
you keep
to
using shit
there
from the
than
east
y'all to
side.
get from there to here. You dig what I'm saying? Y'all got to go against that current, all
Yeah,
that shit.
okay. So this one's a little bit more detailed than what they do.
Mhm.
But theirs looks like somebody just tried to draw it up. So what they say is,
I can't believe these jive turkeys.
they'll have a map just like this, and they'll say, "You see, there's nothing going to the America, but you see everything is going here. But then there's also a route going down here. So we sent people over to this side of Africa, and then they sent all their undesirables from here to America. So there's no dates on this thing. So like if you're looking at this, can you
Damn.
tell me what goes where? No, you can't.
They literally trying to reverse this shit, y'all.
They just talk about the map and say that look at the lines. Just don't worry about, and they don't say it, but they are applying. Don't look at dates. Just look at these lines. What are the lines showing you?
Hold on.
This
That
is
somebody's asking where all the slave ships at. We done went through numerous information telling y'all what they did with the slave ships.
Who
They
said that?
refurbished them and used them for other things. And some of them they built houses, they decommissioned them and used them for other ships. Some of them they used for fucking firewood, and they used them to build houses. They got refurbished because remember, when before the slave trade, they weren't slave ships. They were cargo ships.
Oh, hold on. Somebody said that in the chat.
Yeah, weak.
Oh, you know what?
Trauma.
You know what? Look, I got you right here. Where's the slave? I got you right here, homie.
somebody asking for the slave ships.
Yeah. Oh, I got you right
I'm
here.
exhausted. You get them, Rob. Fuck it.
Yeah, man.
All right. So I want you to pay attention. So now, this is the database. So now, if you go to configure columns, you go down here. First, what you want to do, you can put up the, let me see. You can put up the vessel owner. So I hope you're watching. Vessel owner, right here. You go back to the columns. Outcome. I'm just going to put all these on. So right here, and then also, since you like receipts, I'll throw a
Have
source on
patience,
there.
man. He's
Yeah,
showing you.
stop commenting. Just slow
God
down.
damn, he's showing you.
Yeah, slow down. You got
This
y'all
ain't
get too
TikTok.
excited.
This
Yeah,
is not TikTok.
Yeah,
G.
slow
You gotta
down.
wait for it.
So now this
Slow
map
down.
is good to go for you. So right now you have the vessel name, which is right here. You have where everybody was loaded. In this column, it tells you what happened to the slave ship, or actually this one, if it was captured. So now when you click on it, you can put it in order. It'll tell you privateer action. That means this boat was gone. Somebody took the boat.
Now slow down. Now, are you understanding that in the comment section? Some of these ships were pirated. If you've been paying attention in class, you'll know because I've talked about the Liverpool privateers. Okay, so these are the primaries. Okay, show them. Okay,
He's going to the source right now. He's just showing you how to navigate to get to where it's going to tell you what you want to hear, right? And then the source is going to come next. It's right. It's all on the same area.
So
Let them
now
know. Let them know, Rob.
in this column right here, it tells you the outcome, voyage of the ship if it was captured. This one, it tells you another thing, like right here, thwarted, right? So now when you go to the dates, let's just say right here, this is an easy one. So when you look at, and I hope you know that after 1807, you're not going to see any ships going to America because there was a law against importation. That means every ship was getting seized going to America. So they did everywhere else but America. So I've seen another person went to like 1817 and was looking and said, oh, nothing came to America. No shit. There was no importation after 1807. They had to sneak the boats in. So now, right here in this column, and this tells you the same thing. So when there was, it was illegal, original goal, thwarted. That means human agency. The outcome of this ship was British. That means the British took this ship. The British took all these ships because they were doing, like, they took majority of the ships because they were actually physically going out and getting these ships. Spanish took the ship. This one, natural hazard. Something just happened to the ship. Oh, right here, shipwrecked or destroyed after disembarkation. Captured by Spanish.
And some of these British ships that were taken with the Africans.
All right, go to one of the sources real quick because
break that down.
Okay, sources right here.
Primary.
So when
he don't want to know what he's looking at, he just want the source for what he don't know.
Okay, so the source right here. So at the bottom, sources of data. It tells you right there where they got it from. British National Archives. So
blow it up some.
So now,
no excuses.
So now what you do at this point is you go to the British National Archives. The reason why is America wouldn't be keeping this information because the British was doing it. So the British made logs on it. So if you really want to know where the slave ships are, you got to go to British.
These are official primary documents that's held by the British.
Just like tells you.
Wait. See, because I think he playing. He talking about, so they're just saying it. Where's the proof?
Oh, well, come up here.
It's literally right here.
Wait. He is showing you proof, right? He's showing you proof. He's telling you where you can go and you can look at what happened to the slave ships. The ones that they know, they're putting it in the database. The database is coming from a whole different countries. They pulled all this information together, bro. But see, his name is Rick Osama.
Oh, that's not the dude from TikTok, is it?
I don't know, but this is a collaboration of databases they compiled over the years, talking to people that had their hand in the slave trade. But this is what we're saying. Y'all don't show proof that y'all were here and human life started in the American continent. Y'all can't show us the evidence of the tribes that these black indigenous was supposed to be before the natives got over.
He said, I believe the slave trade happened, but when y'all say our sources are invalid because there's no proof, what do you say? Just letting y'all know y'all are on the same.
No, we got it.
No, we got.
No, we not. Even some of your people said that they did their research and they found out we was right. So
do you want to have them in here?
Your leaders. Your leaders agree that it happened now. They didn't tell you. Oh yeah, I forgot. They didn't tell y'all. They told us.
Peep gang. Before we did our first presentation on the 22nd, 2 days or 3 days before that, we was on Port Cities Live. I hope he found it. We were breaking down the slave manifestos from the captains of the ships, the people that was writing in the diaries, and we also have receipts in books. There was writing these people receipts for their cargo. Mo went, Port went, I went. All our shit was going in, coinciding with each other, and we weren't using the same books at all. So we have the information. We compiled it and put it together.
Yeah, we're showing you proof that this happened by the documents that's illustrated in these primaries that you're looking at. It's been written down. The ships might not be here.
Wait, hold on, Port. He said we ain't got no physical proof. Listen, You have 3 black female ship divers right now. They're wreckage and they're looking. I forget the name of the company, but they're finding sunken slave ships.
Let me see what
So
he's
we
saying.
have proof.
Man, look,
We have the proof.
we're
Hold
fair.
on.
We
Hold
are
on.
being
All right,
fair. I just
if
don't
you-
like how we coming with the evidence, man. I like y'all need to come
Saying
up with
y'all
better
have.
evidence.
If you know it happened, what is the problem?
All right, hold
come
on,
up
hold
there
on.
So you can
Here.
say it flat out. Because I'm
Yeah,
not
let me
understanding what the issue is. Like, the only reason we're showing evidence of the slave trade is because people saying it did not happen or it happened in reverse. So if you're saying it happened, then what is the issue? We're not
Oh,
here to
please
argue
come up
numbers.
here. I got a question. I have a question for him. Where are the ships? Oh, please
No,
come up
you're
here.
not going to find all the ships. That doesn't even make any sense. What are you talking
Dude,
about? Look how
the
many
slave ships ended
look
how many
ships
years
were
ago?
built in Egypt. How many
No,
ships
that's
did they find on there? Look how many ships were built in Greece. They're not going to find all of them. They're going to find the last ones that were either sitting there already or the ones that made it back. Ships wear and tear way faster than you see today. It's not the same type of material. They had it coated with iron, and before that, they didn't have it coated with anything. So it had a life expectancy that was way shorter than your ships and shit that you see today.
Yeah, bro. It's just like
just diving with a purpose.
You
That's
know,
the name I was looking
put
at.
cereal in the bowl, right? And as soon as you put that milk in there, that shit start getting soggy. Depending on how you construct your boat, because I don't think they have water resistant paint or what's that, resin or some shit. I don't think they had that shit back then. So however they whatever material they used to preserve the wood when it went on the ocean, then that's just what they had. But I mean, the more you use it, the more wear and tear we're not gonna have it today. If wood when you're using wood, it's not eternal, bro. That shit gonna get rotted out and die.
Hey, hold on.
Like,
Let me
y'all are
say
looking
something real
for a ship to be a smoking gun.
Diving with a
It's not
purpose
a
too.
smoking gun. A ship is not a smoking gun. The documents that the correspondence that people had with each other, that is the smoking gun.
No,
right
hold
there.
on. So are you original? Are you Indian, Aboriginal Indian? What are you?
He said trying to be fair.
No,
Being-
there is no
Hey,
fair. What
Hey,
is
hold on, because he being nice. I don't want to cuss him out.
right.
But he just asking. But what I'm saying is, if we put our information toe to toe with our information, that stuff don't line up, because a lot of times we use your information to debunk your information.
And the
no?
link
So
is in the chat.
the first thing.
What we can do.
Hold on. Let him come
Let me say this, then you can write the
up.
hold on, now, just spot me real quick, then we can go back. If Port pulls up, if you ever get some time, just find the presentation we did before we went and did the real presentation, where we was coinciding with the slave trade. And we showed, remember we had the sketch of the ship?
Volume 1?
Yeah, right before it. Remember, because this is what happened. We did that. You presented your shit. Mo presented his shit. Then I presented my shit. And when I went to chapter 10 of my book, that sketch came out. And then the next day, it was either the following day or the day after that, they went live and wanted us to come over there and talk about the slave trade. And I was like, they watched our shit.
I gotta find that. I do remember that.
He coming up.
We had a lot of information out. Like, I don't understand that signature documents, primaries. Come on up here. Let them talk. We won't beat you up unless you talk shit. But I'm trying to hear what you're trying to say.
Coming up, bro.
Okay, so my question is, what are you? Are you Native American? Are you the original American? What are you? Because that's going to depend on what I ask you next.
Studies, DNA, all kind of shit.
Let's see. Oh, because here's the thing. So when they're asking that, they already have a preconceived notion in their mind. Because if they're going to sit here and say that, there's no proof of slave ships, I know where that comes from. I know exactly what that comes from. And then when they turn around in the next breath and say, but I know what happens, what they're actually saying is, I know what happened, but the numbers ain't correct, because that's what Dane taught them to say.
And it happened in reverse.
Yeah, no, or some, yeah. So they say like it happened reverse, or yeah, I believe in the slave trade, but the numbers are incorrect, which I showed. If you don't match up to anybody on that about page, then you're going to have to show some proof. If you hadn't did any kind of study, if you hadn't went to school for it, if you're not currently in school for it, if you don't have a degree, PhD, anything, then you need to do some work and then explain why you think it's wrong. Because if you honestly can't understand that it's been how many years past slavery, they wanted to physically, okay, so slavery ended in 1866 in the US, and that's counting the Treaty of 1866 with the Choctaws, right? So if that ended then, and then a little bit, maybe 20 or so years later, slavery ended for the most part, everything else. Yep, see, there you go. So slavery ended everywhere else, but you had different countries actively destroying ships. Nobody wanted to be caught with a ship. That's why you see the ship like the Clotilda, why he burned it and then jumped in a different ship.
And
Nobody wanted
to,
to,
that shit too.
right?
For
Nobody
like
wanted to
4
keep
hours.
a slave ship. So asking, where are the ships today? After how many years has it been? Over what, 100 and something, 200 years? That's really stupid. That is the most idiotic question you can ever ask. Because why would you keep something if it's illegal? And then hold on to it. What are you going to put it in a museum? They already recreated it.
Not to mention, hold on. It was also illegal when it was legal. How so? Because everybody wasn't allowed to participate in the slave trade.
Correct.
You had to have a license.
Yeah.
So they were hiding it before it was completely abolished.
So actually, more importantly, if you're saying what you're saying now and trying to be fair, the fair thing to do is to state your opinion on what is the reason you really think that they were here first.
The link is in the chat.
But y'all require, have proof, because what's here? Because I went over it. I don't think you were here, but show me or quote something that you think that these the black people were. Because there's only 3 documents that you can possibly state. 3 documents you can possibly state that they were here before. One's going to be the Columbus Journals, which I could probably guess you haven't read the Columbus Journals. Another one's going to be 2 other people that go off of someone else. And then there's also, let me see. So there's 2 writers, and then pretty much everyone else talks about those writers. So if you want, you can come up here and let's see where these Black Indians are. I would like to hear it personally.
Yeah, because like you said, where did it go? I agree. I think it happened, but y'all require us to have all of this proof. Y'all started it with the proof. Y'all kept telling us, then I'm speaking for your Black indigenous people, not just you. Y'all kept saying the slave trade wasn't real. We're not from Africa. Y'all can't trace y'all people back to Africa. So I'm like, so we start bringing out documentations proving that this is what happened to our people. You got a noise. I got to mute you. Hold on. We were talking about this happened to our people. We start showing documentation and proof, and you guys just denied it till this day. Y'all be like, oh yeah, if the slave trade happened, then we catch y'all in lies talking about it didn't happen. They'd be like, oh well, because it was like there's no photos. And then when we talk to y'all, where's y'all photos? Oh well, you're not gonna find a photo. So I can give you a drawing. So, but then when we do the same thing, like I'm about to show you. Let me present real quick.
You know what? Honestly, I'm looking at all the questions that he asked. Yeah. So what you need to do, like I said, please jump in here, because if you don't think that Columbus discovered on accident, I think I went over that already. If you think that you're here? Oh shit. Yeah.
Look, okay. You see this sketch?
Oh, I didn't even see that. Okay, so now here, let me go ahead and stop sharing so I can actually see what's going on.
This sketch is from a slave ship. So we have stuff, and the dude sketched it. This is in Thomas Clarkson's History of the Rise, Progress, and Accomplishments of the Abolition of the Slave Trade, 1808, courtesy of the rare book manuscript in Special Collections Library, Duke University. You see it? I'm gonna go up a little. See that? They're showing you how they were laying in the boat. If you go up, you can read more about it. So it ain't like, oh look, they made it up.
So I kind of know what he's about to get at, because I've seen the video, and I'm kind of curious, because what happens is there's a video, and correct me if I'm wrong. There's a video of
Whoever, somebody need to mute until they about to talk. Whoever in the car.
So correct me if I'm wrong, but Dane has a video where he pretty much states that you can't fit everybody into the boat. The boat's not big enough, and he shows this picture and he goes over it and says that you can't do it. It's a sailboat. It can't sail. They only had wood with, like, I don't know, it was a little teeny tiny boat, and you can't carry it, because that's pretty much what went on. Because I watched the video and I really couldn't understand it. So my big question is, when you say that the slave trade happened, there's a but, correct?
Talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I definitely believe that it happened, but what I'm saying is, when y'all like ask us to, like, provide all of this proof, it's just like, well, like, where's all the proof of the slave ships? That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so you said it happened. What year do you think slavery started?
I guess in like the 1400s.
1400s. Okay.
Yeah.
So
as far as from Africa to the Americas.
Okay, so you're saying it started at the 1400s. So now, what about the slave trade, like the numbers that you don't agree with?
So as far as the numbers, like, I really don't know, because I haven't looked into it. I just know that it happened. But like, my thing is, I feel that we're like rejecting like some documents and then not accepting, and then accepting others. So I feel if we're gonna accept, the African slave trade documents, then we should accept the Indian slave trade. Well, the Indian slave documents as well.
Okay, like what?
Which
Indian
one?
Documents.
Yeah.
So I do know that what's the name? Brown Girl Pride, and I know a few others did say that the Indian slave trade happened first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I know that some of them were taken to Europe and Africa.
Well, what do you mean the Indian slave trade happened first?
Well,
like versus African slave trade? Or are you just talking about the transit? Like, you talking about someone being taken from this land or someone being taken from Africa? You have slavery that happened in North and East and West Africa, but it didn't have anything to do with America.
Yeah,
so that could be that was first for Africa, but dealing with this land, the Indians were a slave first.
Yeah. So really, I mean, like the Indian slave happened first, as far as going from America to Europe and Africa.
Oh, wait. Okay, I got you. Oh no, okay, I got you. Yeah. So here, let's walk up the timeline, because you just jumped.
But like, by the way, though, if it's not right, like, that's fine. But what I'm saying is that American Indians were taken from America to Europe and Africa, and what I'm saying is, like, that should be a focal point as well.
No, let me stop you just real quick.
Okay.
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why you're messing up. Right now, you skip time frames. Okay. So when you think about the Indian slavery, that happened on the spot. That happened in the West Indies. They enslaved them there. Okay. So when you look at like was it the Tainos? Am I saying that right?
Yeah, Tainos.
Right. So in the West Indies, when Columbus came there, and that's around your 1500s, actually when he first landed. So his second voyage there, because the first voyage was just pretty much he surveyed it. His second voyage, they went to either convert or conquer. So when he enslaved them there, and the conquistadors and the Spanish,
Mhm.
at around 1518, Bartolomé Las Casas, he was actually, they called him the protector of the Indians, right?
Yeah.
So when he advocated, because they, in a span of 10 years, they decimated the natives, like decimated. I want to say it's 20 or 30,000, decimated them. They replaced them with Negroes. And you know what a Negro is, right?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
It's what?
Us, so a Negro was, or black people was like everybody from, well, people that they named in America when they came here, Africa.
No.
Asia.
At that point, I'm talking, we're not talking over there. I'm talking 1518. At that time, they grabbed Negroes. So what were Negroes at that point?
And they grabbed them from where?
No. I'm saying at that point, around 1518, when it says they grabbed Negroes. So what was Negroes?
Black people.
Black Africans.
Yeah, because it would make no sense, bro. Why would they say they're going to get Negroes from somewhere else on the same land of the people that they fighting with when a person is sympathizing for these people in their land, saying like this isn't right what we're doing to these people? So all right, well, let's do it to these people over here. Nobody likes these people. Nobody would have a problem with them slaving the Africans. They've been doing it before they got to America.
And listen,
okay.
They replaced the Indian with the Negro. They didn't say we're about to go to Mexico and get some Negroes. They're getting them from Africa.
And listen, like now in the 1400s, prior to them even getting over here, right? Prince Henry was saying that when he was in Africa, there was the land of Negroes. So when Bartholomew made that suggestion, they knew where to go get the Negroes. You know what I'm saying?
No, I definitely understand that, but really, like, I'm trying to focus on like the American Indians that were taken from Europe to Africa, and like that's something that I believe is like crucial in this whole thing. And the reason why I say,
skipping,
but that's late. That didn't happen later.
So are y'all saying that like the Africans that were taken over here to America might have been taken back to Europe and Africa and then classified as American Indian?
No.
Okay, exactly. No. So what I'm saying is, what I want to focus on, because like this is stuff that we were never taught before. We wasn't taught about the American Indians being taken from Europe to Africa, and that's big because when they made like statues or pictures of certain American Indians in that time, they were black people.
Where did they take them to in Africa?
I can't remember exactly where, but I know North Africa for sure.
North Africa.
Yeah, North
like
Africa.
Egypt.
North Africa for sure. And then I know North Africa, and then from my knowledge, West Africa, certain parts of West Africa, I believe maybe I forgot the name, but like West Africa, and then I believe a colony in South Africa.
I know off the top of my head that I've seen evidence for them being taken into Europe, right?
Yeah.
And stuff. I don't know about Africa. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but what is the record? Like, you can't say that we reject evidence without presenting it. If you present us something that showed like it was a mass fleets of ships shipping out Native Americans to Africa and Europe, then that's just what it is. But hold on. But I want to say this. I gotta ask this though. Let's just say you did show that, right? How does this remove the slave? Doesn't add to that adds to it, right? That doesn't remove anything.
No, it doesn't. Like I said, I don't. Like I'm not saying the African slave trade didn't happen. I'm not saying that because like I know Africans were taken from Africa to the America, but what's crucial to me is the American Indian slave trade, and the reason why I say that is because of the descriptions that they had of the American Indians. So like I said, when they got there, like of course the Native Americans were there, the lighter skinned straight hair, of course, but also there were people that were there that were dark skinned, dark skinned people.
Are you implying
so like
the dark skinned Indians to Africa? Is that?
No, I got it. I know exactly what he's saying. I know what you're saying. Hold on.
Yeah. So go ahead.
Okay, so I know exactly what you're getting at because this is a talking point. So what you're getting at is, for one, you're confused. People are confused.
I'm not confused.
No, listen what I'm saying, because yes, they're confusing you. So what's happening is they convinced a whole bunch of people that black people that you would actually call African American or descendants are the American Indians. What you're referring to when they take the Indians to Africa is Liberia, because they jumped about the 18.
I ain't talking about that.
No. But that's what they're getting at. Because if you actually listen to what's going on when they say it, or I don't know if you think you're an Indian or something, but they're actually talking about going to Liberia. That's what they're talking about, taking people from here over there.
Now, I got you on that. Yeah.
So if not, what date did they take them?
Oh, so as far as the dates, man, like, I don't know. Like, I don't even care about the dates. Like, all I care about is the American Indians being taken to Europe and Africa. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, like I said, you know, I'm not denying the Native Americans being there because they were there already. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm trying to say is, like, there were black people or very dark people in Americas as well. And we know that, and we can kind of verify that because when the journals say there were dark people there, and then we see certain ancient sites in America, and the
what
people
journal?
Shit, you already know, because y'all see them all on TikTok, you know. And
no. Tell me the journal, because you just said that you didn't. You don't have to. I'll pull it up for you. I'll pull it up for you.
Yeah, anything you want us to pull up, we'll pull it up. So we're not saying you got to pull it up. We'll do it.
Yeah. So as far as the journals, like, I don't know on the top of my head. It's so many. And like I said, I'm not denying the Native Americans, but what I'm trying to say is when they're describing, when they say dark brown people, and then when you
who's describing dark brown?
The conquistadors, like the people that came over.
So they described them.
Not everybody is dark brown, but some people is dark
copper
brown,
colored, right?
They say I'm saying they said dark brown. You know,
they said dark brown, or did they say copper colored?
Dark brown are unlike the Ethiopian.
Okay. I think I know where you're getting at. Okay.
Right. So what I'm trying to say is, like, when they came here, you have different people of different color. You had the lighter skinned people with the straighter hair, and also you had the darker skinned people. And the thing is, as far as the darker skinned people,
the kinky hair.
How
did they describe them? Did they just, because dark is not going to be enough? If you look at the picture of the people who you probably don't believe are the Native Americans, if you look at their pictures as they get less and less mixed with other people that came to this land, they do get darker. They get dark as shit.
So all right, so as far as that,
we see that these people were actually dark, but what's missing is the actual description or the comparison to the African. Because
we're put me on the screen.
We look more. That.
Yeah, because Native Americans got DNA from Northeast Asians, East Asians, and Southeast Asians.
Yo. So the thing is,
so they gonna have dark skin.
Hey, Sutton. Yeah, there we
go. I didn't want to jump around though. Hey, I already know all this stuff, but what I'm trying to say is, like, I didn't want to jump around. But as far as the dark brown people of America, you know, it's gonna be very hard to find someone that's dark brown without black people's DNA, either from, well, I believe, you know, there was black people in America already. You know, I believe it was ever. But what I'm trying to say is, like, it's gonna be very hard to find a Native American in North America or South America, in Brazil, in the Amazon, or anywhere in those areas in South and Southern Mexico that do not have, you know, quote unquote African DNA that will show up on.
Wait, hold on.
Go ahead.
Let me stop you real quick.
Wait. But are you talking about ancient DNA, like from bodies? Or are you talking about people today?
So my thing is, so I can only go off today as far as, like, what we see.
Yeah, all right. Well, yeah, that's not going to be a problem until we can't talk about what DNA they got today. It's
no, that's fine. But what I'm trying to say is, like, we can't say that these people were dark brown back then and not know who they were. And what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. Like, from North America to South America, in Brazil and Southern America, now they're finding that Australian people and Papua New Guinea people, South Pacific people, were in South America a long ass time ago. And the thing is, they never talked about this. So when you get those,
we need some sources for that, brother.
Listen.
Oh yeah.
Hold on.
Hey, it's many sources on that now. Now it is.
No, okay. So here, I got you, because there's only.
Wait, he ain't wrong about that. That is a theory.
It is a theory.
It's the thing.
The kelp theory as well. I mean, he's not wrong about that.
But
those same markers are found in Native Americans, though.
But here's the thing. So you'll have like right now, you have a lot of people that when they do check their DNA, they don't have like African DNA. I mean, it may show up somewhere, but they just don't have, and they have dark skin. But let me ask you something, right? So this is one of the sources. I'm pretty sure you've heard this before.
Okay, let me see.
This is a very.
Oh shit! Where you go?
Huh?
Where you go?
What?
I think he accidentally clicked out because he was about to look at this. He's about to look at the screen. So just give him a second.
Okay, come back in here, man.
Yeah, he just said, "Yeah, let me check it out." And
okay.
Then
shit, I hope he ain't going nowhere. Come on back in, bro. We was building.
Yeah, I was just reading a study the other day about all that. It's not even found in every Native American either. You got certain Amber Indians that don't have any affinities, genetic links to anybody, even with the HLL genes. So I don't even know why people. So dark skin, that's not enough, y'all.
So
they're going off of lookership, but
this shit's not enough.
So this is one of when it gets back. This is one of the sources right here that they use. Y'all can see that, right?
No. Hold on. What are we looking at?
This is the
blow it up a little bit though.
Yeah. So this is the.
Yeah. Okay. You good? You back? You back?
All right.
Okay. So this is the Aboriginal Histories of America by J.H. McCullough. So this is a really known one. So what you normally see is in this first part. It's called complexion and appearance, right? So
I know about this. Oh yeah.
Okay, you do, right? Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Because this is what you were saying, and this is one of the little, or let me go down to it. This is one of the sticking points on how everybody look. Copper color, right?
Oh yeah.
So Hawaiian Islanders, the coast, and they show you this, right? Everybody's copper color, correct?
Now
let me show you something. If you scroll up, this same guy, before they get here, and this is the part that they don't tell you because they don't read this part. He tells you point blank, the term, I believe, was first employed to describe the complexion of the American Indians, and it is presumable was given by superficial observers who were deceived by the fading marks of red paint, so universally used among them, and which is hardly ever so much worn off, but not to leave a reddish tinge on their brown faces. But the hands, legs do not exhibit this complexion. So do you know what that? You know what I just read to you, right?
Oh yeah, I definitely know what you mean. But so
no. Wait. What do I mean?
Yeah. That the person that whoever's saying that is saying that they may have had paint on them, and then that the color that the colonizers seen when they got there wasn't the actual color. Maybe, it could have been paint or something.
No, it's not a could. He's telling you that when he's looking, this is the guy that's actually telling you what they were saying. He's telling you he disagrees with it because it didn't match anything else. So what he's telling you, it's false to don't go on.
Is this guy that's talking the guy that was there?
This is the same guy that's telling you that's going over this. So this is the book where he's going over this stuff.
And then he from the 1800s?
Yes, this is the same book, J.H. McCullough.
Right. So yeah, so that writer, the writer wasn't there doing it.
Oh, you want somebody that's there? I got you.
No. I don't need it because like it's gonna because like the writers that were there, they were saying that they saw dark brown people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like it's kind of pointless because that's not debunking anything. So we have to take things as it is. You know,
when you say dark brown people, hold on, but brother, when you say dark brown people, you mean like dark brown people like us in majority?
So and the reason why I'm saying this is because when you look at the actual ancient like sites in America, well, let's say the Bonaparte murals, for example, the people on the murals depicting themselves as dark brown. So if somebody says that they seen dark brown people when they got here, and then the murals of the people in the murals depict themselves as dark brown, it would make sense that, okay, well, those people that in that region were dark brown,
You know, it just makes sense. And then, you know, when we see the colonizers, they drew dark brown people, you know, they look the same color as us when they got here. And also they made statues of dark brown people.
Yeah, but they
Like,
don't look like us, bro.
But
Nah,
you can
well,
have
I've seen their
they do.
figurines and their paintings that they just were. That's it. They were dark, but they don't look like they didn't look like us, man.
dark brown
dark and
people
tall.
are listen
Yeah,
though,
you
bro.
can look up Amerindians too. They dark Amerindians.
Oh,
no, they're
dark.
mixed race.
Listen, bro, real quick. Dark brown
Yeah.
people are populated around the equator where the sun hits the most. So you can have dark brown
Yeah.
people that's not like us, bro. Is what I'm
Now, I get
equating.
what you're saying.
You know what I'm
but the
saying?
thing- yeah, I understand what y'all saying, but
what?
if you put it in, all right, we look
Can
at
somebody
humanity, and
pull
then
up
you
the
see,
murals, please?
and then,
Oh,
then-
wait.
then we-
I got one
okay.
right here for him. He wants.
Then, no,
So-
I don't like. I'm trying to.
I can
like,
guarantee
limit
you
this.
never seen
Go
this.
ahead, you good, man. We chilling. You ain't come on
Yeah,
here
yeah.
on some crazy shit. So you good.
Oh no, because my thing is like this. Like I went through all this stuff already because I didn't know this stuff. You know, I'm around people that are those skin colors and the mix and stuff like that, but I had to go to Mexico first to understand. Okay, dark brown. Like at first, I didn't know what a Mexican was. I thought it was a race of people, but then I found out that it's Europeans. It's supposed to be Native American, well Asian, Native American, and African people. And
So we were in South America, like
and
no.
indigenous people too.
I'm gonna get to South America. You know what I'm saying? And then
Okay.
I'm looking at Canelo Alvarez. I'm like, man, this guy's pale and red, but he's Mexican. Like I don't understand it. You know, so then I started learning that okay, so Mexico is a mixed people. You have some people that are more European. You have some people that are I didn't call them like mestizos, like mixed with everything, European, Asian, and black. And then when you go to more southern Mexico, that's when you see more Afro Mexicans.
Okay.
And then there's a whole documentary on them now. And then
Right.
some of those people, some of them have afros, and then some of them are darker with like more of a straighter hair, looking more like somebody from the Dravidian people in southern India that are mixed race people as well.
Okay.
So
these black people that were in South America.
They share an ancient ancestor with Indians.
Is it this one?
I mean in a south southern Mexico where the Yucatan area are just like there's Afro Mexicans down there, and so and then I started looking at okay, you got India in the part of India, you have the Dravidian people, and I thought that was just a people, but those people are mixed race people from Northeast Africa, the Australioid people mixed in with lighter people that came. So then it made that phenotype. And then you go to Southeast Asia. I didn't know about the Negritos in the Philippines because we only see the light skin in Philippines.
So hold on. We're all over the world. I'm talking about like just like us. Like us.
I'm saying.
So if we're not from Africa, right?
Uh-huh.
We ain't come from. I'm trying to rock with you. Just seeing where you at, right? We're not from Africa. You feel like we was over here.
Everywhere. I feel like we was everywhere.
But I'm just saying, where's the epicenter for black folks at?
Shit, I thought I knew. So here's the thing. So as far as that, I believe in it. I still kind of believe in Africa, out of Africa theory for sure. I definitely do. But due to the fact,
it's definitely Africa.
and well, I'm saying this. I think, but the thing is, like the people
scientifically speaking.
Yeah, I mean, but like the thing is, like the people that taught us that. So I didn't know that there were black people outside of Africa. And then the thing is, if there were black people in America already too, then that puts the theory in jeopardy.
But we don't have enough proof that there was a large majority of land of black. Where's the land of blacks at, in your opinion?
So I'm saying like this. So the thing is, like, due to the fact that like if these people admit that there were people already here in America, then they have to redo the whole theory.
No one said that there weren't people over here.
No,
and that's not how that works either. Even if they seen some people over here, right?
Yeah,
it wouldn't change it in reverse. They didn't use who they found on the land and all of these different continents to determine where the out of the out of theory was going to be placed at. That's not how that happened. Africa has multiple layers of human history. That's why by default it's there. You don't even need the theory. It's just, it speaks for itself. From the language to the mathematics to the arrows to the cooking utensils, everything, it keeps popping up over there first. To the point where to the point where you can, when you go back to an arrow, the arrow itself is, you're going to find that in Africa. So these people could have took the arrow and left out of Africa thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago and just walked around the world. You see what I'm saying? And the evidence of that is staggering, to the point you stop looking over here and then you just keep on looking in Asia and Africa, and then it keeps answering your questions. Now, if somebody found something here that answered a question to anything in their studies, what they're trying to figure out about human history, they can just add it. But trying to reverse it from one landmass to the next, you have to show the other layer of human history. You have to show the other ancestors. You can't just go, well, 2,000 years ago they came over here and they seen these people, or 100 years ago they came over here and see that's people who already exist going to another landmass, seeing somebody else. We're talking about going back 100,000 years. We don't. This is in books. This is just bones. You see, if they did see somebody black over here, it wouldn't change the bone history of the human history that we see in America, in Africa.
I can definitely see that, but I guess it's because, like, the more I start reading this stuff, and then I find out like how people migrated, and like, for example, like from what I'm reading and learning is that like West Africa is much newer compared to Northeast Africa. And
what you mean by that?
So what I mean by is like, so like, there was probably like, like always people in pockets and like smaller pockets all over Africa, but from what it appears and seems like is that the large majority of the population of the black people were in the Northeast region, and then when lighter skin or white people started to invade, some fought and then some migrated, maybe more south or to west.
Because they now getting into the creation of Homo sapiens was the whole of Africa thing. It wasn't just one particular place of Africa. The whole of Africa has always been teeming with life. Like, going back before Homo sapiens, we were everywhere. Even with Homo sapiens, bro, people were moving, migrating throughout the whole of Africa.
Hey, now,
because the Sahara Desert wasn't always there.
Hey, real quick,
it used to be green.
That's the main thing.
Look at the chronology. We just want to know where you're at. So if you're talking about that, are we talking about 200,000 years ago, or are we talking about in the 1400s? So, are we talking about in the 600s? Are we talking about it like AD? Like, give us a timeline, because I feel like you're hopping around.
Okay, so I'm speaking on, so like, all right, when you Google African population, you will see that as of right now, the largest population is still in East Africa right now. And
whoa, I gotta stop you right there. Nigeria got damn near more people is like America. Like
Nigeria and Brazil are like the two largest.
I'm just saying population wise.
Yeah, population.
All of America and Nigeria as far as population.
Right. But I'm just speaking as far as like statistics. Like right now, if you Google it, and then they'll show you the live numbers. Like East Africa is currently the largest population. And then West Africa is finally
you gotta
catching
take
up.
into account the Sahara Desert too, though, bro.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm getting to that. So
that's probably why East Africa at this moment is more populated, but not throughout history.
Oh, no. See, here's the thing. But I'm just looking at what I'm seeing right now. So East Africa is the most populated. West Africa is catching up to it. There isn't that many people currently in North Africa. When we look at the numbers, and there's a smaller population of people in Southern Africa. So the largest African populations right now are in East Africa and West Africa. So what I'm saying is, when you look at and from the invasions that happened to Africa, they normally came in through Northeast Africa. So with that happened, there's people that stayed and fought, and then there was people that most likely migrated more to maybe down east or more to West Africa. And the reason why I'm saying that is because when you look at the ancient Egyptian like artifacts, when you look at certain hairstyles, certain people in Nigeria and certain parts of West Africa still do those same exact hairstyles as what you see in the northeast walls of the ancient Egyptians.
Oh,
What
we
do
ain't
you,
gonna
what do you claim yourself as?
I mean, I ain't arguing with
we
you
gonna
about
disagree with that.
that. Like, where
You
you saying that though?
you talking a lot of pro-black, like
Yeah.
Pan-Africanist.
I mean,
You
I
had
don't
wait,
know no
see,
more.
you
I don't know.
look, you've been listening to TikTok and you heard a couple of Dan Calloway and it's got you questioning the origin. That's what's wrong, man. Come on back, bro.
I mean, like, you know
He
what I'm saying?
he ain't got to come back. I mean, he seemed like he educated and got some cool studies, but it just seemed like the way you talk, it flows out fluently Pan-Africanism.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I'm just for like Black history, pretty much.
That's
you know,
what's up.
so. But yeah, so that's what I see, you know, and to me, as far as in America, as far as from what I'm seeing, and then as far as like I'm really thinking that either you were us, you had brown skin with I guess woolly hair, and then other people were more pale with straight hair, and then as time went, like whenever they mix, then they get browner. But that's my thing, you know, from what I see. But
So you studied Sheikh Anta Diop.
I heard a little bit about him for sure. But yeah, it's just like, you know, the Americas. I'm looking at Mexico. I'm looking at the skin color of the people and the people that are actually brown, and the ones that are either have you know, African DNA, it says, or they may have Australialoid DNA, and those people are
It's
Black as
different.
well.
Okay, can I say something?
You do understand a large amount of
Australasian.
Africans got taken to like Brazil, especially in that area, in that region.
And not all Amerindians, bro, have DNA from other people. They have their own like isolated genes and haplogroups as well.
All right, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead. I'm gonna be
all right. So, hey, man. So, because I noticed while I'm listening to you, you know, you kind of, I don't know if they said it, but you jump in different timelines. I mean, I can hear it. I can hear it when you're talking. You're going from backing in, you're going, you know, in the future, the present, and then you're just skipping back and forth. So the main thing that you got to, and the main thing that I'm hearing from you is you're saying, you know, everybody was, you know, copper colored or dark brown, because you can't really build on anything if your foundation is messed up. So I brought up something to let you know, and this is a first person account of what was actually here. Yeah. Now, if you say you read it, I'm going to ask you how you read it. Okay. So what Columbus actually said, because I'm not going to, you know what, I'll ask you, when you heard what was here and what Columbus said, what book did you read, or who told you from where? Do you remember?
Not exactly. I've just been reading like a bunch of I guess, primary sources.
Now, when you say primary sources, okay, so I'm gonna tell you what happened. So in the 1970s, you had that 1970s, you had the Van Sertima book, right? The We Come From, or We Were Here Before Columbus, or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, that's a well-known book, and it went around for a very long time. It was uncontested for the most part, and you had a lot of people saying, you know, they had the spear tips and all that other stuff, correct? Like they were gold, they came from Africa. Okay. Yeah. Well, after going through this, and it took me about, what was it, a couple of weeks ago, I believe, when you actually go to the primary source, that was not a primary source. So the Van Sertima book actually came off another book. What's on my screen right now is the primary source. Okay, this is exactly what was translated. Now I'm gonna read this to you.
Is that Leo?
No,
that's where Leo got his shit from.
Leo got it from here too. They all did.
Who is that? Is it Leo or John Boy Thatcher? Who is it?
John Boy Thatcher.
All right.
Is
continue, bro.
He is all right. So his name is
Hey,
John
hey, real
Boyd
quick, my
Thatcher.
bad. I know we keep stopping you, Rob. I'm gonna step out for a hot minute. I gotta do something real quick. I'm coming right back, y'all. Go ahead, push.
Okay. So John Boyd Thatcher, he loved Columbus. He did the most extensive work, and just to prove that, here is we come from Columbus, or they came from. So this is the actual book, right? So this is the one they came before Columbus. This is one everyone quotes. And just to prove what I'm telling you, in here where he goes through that everybody quotes about the spears and everything else, once you get to the bottom, he tells you, for this evidence in this chapter, the author draws to the reader's attention a 2,114-page study published in 1903. His interpretation, however, of the events documented in this study is original. John Boyd Thatcher, in his 3-volume work on Columbus, his life, his writings, his voyages, examines all the original documents known and available. So everyone, including Leo Reiner, Van Sertima, they all got it from him. So now, when you actually hear how Columbus actually described the natives, he named them like this. They were very well built with very handsome bodies and very good faces. Their hair was almost as coarse as horses' tails and short, and they wear it over their eyebrows except a small quantity behind, which they wear long and never cut. That sounds familiar, right?
Yeah.
Now, some paint themselves blackish, and they are the color of the inhabitants of the Canaries. They're neither black nor white. So now, in this same thing, the Canaries, he talks about how the Canaries looked. And the Canaries were not black.
And just to make sure, the Canary Islands, where is that at again? Is that
The Canary Islands are off the coast of Africa.
Southeast Asia? Oh, okay, yeah, Africa. Okay.
Right. They're off the coast. It's like in between, I could break up a map for you, but it's in between Africa and Spain. So he's telling you they look like the Canaries, okay? So in this same primary, and this is the actual primary, he translated it. Like I said, Leo, Van Sertima, and everybody else gets it from this guy. So what happens is when you get to those sources, they give their own interpretation on what he did. Yeah. He didn't interpret it in any different way. He wrote it exactly what it was. And he even puts little notations in there saying, okay, this is from here, this is from there. If you look at what Van Sertima did, what he did was he took the passage and then he added his spin on the end of it. Another thing that he did was when he added the African spears, that did not happen in this primary source.
Yeah, and my thing is, like, I don't like even use those sources. Like, really, right now, I just go off.
I hear what you're saying.
The paintings. So my thing is, Native Americans like to say every single continent, Africa, Europe, Asia, Southeast Asia, all had straight-haired people, but it was straight-haired and woolly-haired people. But America is the only continent that doesn't have woolly-haired people. And the thing is, it's just like it doesn't make any type of sense at all.
What does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything?
It has to do with like a lot of things, because the woolly-haired people we know are black people. And that's what it is. And the thing is,
not. Woolly-haired people, if you add color, okay, you can add color and hair to it. It still doesn't mean that it's us.
I've literally seen somebody that was.
You can have, because you have it the other way around. You got people who have. You also have the dark skin and people with curly hair, right? Then you have people who got nappy hair and they still ain't dark,
right?
So it's like it doesn't. It doesn't work either way. That's not enough.
Well, here, let me tell you like this.
So
this
is
the Canaries. So you were saying about a primary source, which this is definitely a primary source. This is the source that everybody gets it from. So Columbus told you when he got here what they look like, and they look like the Canaries. Now he also described what the Canaries, and this is what he described. Journeying 12 days further to the southward, they found an island whose inhabitants were of good size, whose skins were red, and those hair was long but thin.
That sounds like the natives.
These characteristics seem to describe the native Guanches of the Canary Islands.
Mm-hmm.
So the Canary Islands
Mm-hmm.
are different than what you're describing. They're not dark skin. They're not black skin. So this
But
is what nobody
Mhm.
else was before that. So what you're going off of, and I'm telling you what you're going off of, because what you're saying is, yeah, I know. What you're describing is everything that you've seen on TikTok. They only cover three
oh
main
no, it ain't just
things,
TikTok.
or
Yeah.
or even online. There's only three main arguments. The best and the strongest argument for any African or anything else being in the New World prior to 1492 was from Van Sertima when he combined, and I got that right here too. He combined both things together.
Well,
He asserted both of those things together and made you think about Africa. But in the original source, they weren't talking about the New World. They were talking about Africa. That's where Columbus went. Columbus didn't go to South America. He went up to the Cape Verde Islands, and he also
Mhm.
went to Guinea. Those are in Africa.
oh
Guinea's in
yeah.
Africa.
And like I say, I'm not just talking about like Columbus. I'm talking about like other conquistadors or people that that went to
That
America
was after
that have
Columbus.
documented. And that's fine. But my thing is like Columbus didn't look in every part. He only saw certain parts where he went to. Like for
So that's an
example,
assumption.
yeah. Not
That's you're assuming.
like because did he go to every single part of America?
No, but now you're assuming, because even when you look at the conquistadors, when they came
Yeah.
to South America, right?
Mhm.
No, they at that point they knew the difference between what an African looked like and what a native looked like. The reason being is they've been enslaving Africans since the 1400s. They had a whole campaign with the Moors and the Berbers up until
Mhm.
1492 or Reconquista. They knew exactly what an African looked like. So when you say
Okay.
that there's black people that we've always been here, you have to prove that. The only proof as of today is the Columbus journals.
So I want to make sure, so I won't say that we're always been here because, I don't know because I wasn't there. But what I'm saying is like when they arrived, there were black people here, it's like from my knowledge. And I know that a lot of American history was built on a lie.
Okay.
And the reason why I say that is because we're only taught African American slavery, but we're not taught how I guess they call them Mongolian people were sent over here too as slaves, or are sent over here too as well.
But in the
And
Where?
West,
Mongolian where?
come on, the West.
to America. Like
When?
the exact date I can tell you which, like for example, the Chino slaves that were sent here.
When?
The exact date I don't know.
Yeah.
But
So I
Hold-
heard you before when you were
No,
saying
no.
that you don't do dates, or you're not. You have
So-
to notice.
You can't. There's no way you can say first, before,
no.
after,
Hold-
during. But hold on.
Yeah.
When you
Mhm.
say certain words like that, you're denoting time. You're saying that you're talking about time to come first, second, third, last, before, after. Then you have to have a date. You can't go, well, I don't know the date. Then how do you say first?
I didn't mean to say
I
first,
want
my
to prove,
bad.
if I want to
Yeah.
prove that I'm older than you, I have to give you the date. And then you hear the
Yeah.
date, you go, nah, no, you're not, because I was born such
Yeah.
and such. You see? So when you say
I
first,
get it.
if they pulled up and they seen us, then you
Yeah.
got to give us the date.
I definitely agree. Like I messed up when I said first that time. But what I'm saying is like, they only tell African slavery, but they never told about the Asians being sent here as well as slaves and also as criminals, coming into America. And
What date?
now I didn't say
You can't-
first, did I?
No, but you can't throw that stuff out. You can't throw stuff like that or throw things like that out without a date, because
the date, damn,
was it in the 1800s? Was it after slavery? Because I know a lot happened with the gold rush, and that was after slavery.
So my thing is like this, like
the West Side though.
So my thing is
Yeah.
there were already Native Americans here. Like I'm not disputing that. Like,
Okay.
but what I'm trying to say is like there were Asians that were taken here as well, sent to Mexico and South America, like the Chino slaves, and also some were Negritos from the Philippines, and some were the light skinned ones. But now those people, Yeah. Chino
Said Chino slaves. Hold on, let me help you out, man, because I need a date, bro. Because like I said, when you throw stuff like that out, what happens is it gets confusing.
Okay, let me
because
see.
if it's after slavery, you can't mark that and say we were always here because of this, because it's after slavery. You know what I'm saying? And I do want to say this. Yes, every school system is going to be different. You're not going to get the whole thing. They're going to focus on, the demographics. They're going to focus on what they feel is more important. So it's not like they're lying to you. What it is they're trying to focus on the stuff to get you out of there. That's just how school works.
That ain't even a responsibility anyway. Like your parents,
Right.
that's our responsibility. To be honest. Everybody has to do their own research with their family and their racist history after school, but even after college. Like that's something you got to keep going. You don't just stop just because, yo, that's all you teaching me? Well, you lying.
So
like
Asian slaves.
you
What?
go learn too.
In 1672, Mexico. Is that what you're talking about?
You talking about the Mexican Asians?
But that doesn't have anything to do with us.
Yeah, I think you're talking about Mexican Asians or something.
I think that was it because I seen that before. Yeah, that was it because I
This
seen
one?
people bring that up. When did they say that happened?
Becoming indigenous vassals in Spanish crown
12.
after 1672.
1672. Okay.
No, that's
They crazy.
I think he's talking about that one from 12 something, like 1200 AD. But that still ain't
1200 AD. They didn't even know we were here until 1492.
Yeah, we weren't even there at that point. That's
so
it's the Asians and Vikings and all them other people.
Did he go?
Yeah, he's still here.
You still here?
Hello, can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, dang. Okay, cool. So what I was saying was, all right, so they talk about the African slave trade, but then they don't mention the Asian slaves that were sent over here as well.
But what does that have to do with anything, though?
I'm gonna tell you. So my issue with that is because we now look at some of those people that were just brought over here as Native Americans, and also they're classified as Native Americans, and then that's where the whole corruptness starts. When you had slaves that were sent here, and now we're calling them Native Americans, and also you had, like Asian criminals and whatnot, they were being sent here as well. But now we're looking at them as Native Americans because now they're classified as that. Yeah.
Negroes have never been Native Americans at all.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is, like, due to the fact that it was built on corruption, and then the whole Native American thing, like they were letting these people be classified as Native Americans, and then they were calling Negritos from the Philippines Africans.
Okay, so here, let me ask you this. But here, let me ask you this, right? So you said you're Black history, correct?
Yeah, I'm all about Black history. That's it.
Okay, so right now you're talking about the Asian, why they didn't teach you about the Asian slave trade, and then Negritos in the Philippines.
They had an agenda. It was an agenda.
So the agenda. Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know what? How was slavery? Do you think it happened?
Oh yeah. I definitely think. I definitely think it happened. I do think they left things out, which I'm learning now.
Like what? What did they leave out?
They're leaving out, like you said, like the other people that were slaves as well. Like also like the white people that were involved in it, as far as I guess indentured servant / slave, because they treated some white people like that. But then they only teach our history. So of us being a slave, and I know that's a trick they're trying to do. That they're trying to make us feel extremely low, and then they're not teaching everybody else their true history.
Who didn't know about indentured servants?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. Like the people didn't know about white people being enslaved. That was in school.
That was sure in school. They're
Like,
called indentured servants.
I
The only
know.
difference is there's
matter of fact, I want to say they strategically put the curriculum together to show that they didn't make us predominantly like on those pictures that they show in school. They kind of gloss over the really bad shit that we were actually targets. They show white people working side to side with black people in
Correct.
school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the cover up is not happening the way you see it.
Well-
If anything, you can say that they're not showing the full scope of it.
Yeah. They're not showing the full scope of it. It's because they're trying to paint a picture.
Yeah,
And the
but
thing
that's they're not showing the full scope of what happened to black people. They're including that white people were slaves and they were indentured servants.
yeah, they call them indentured servants.
right.
You see what I'm saying? And then they just call us slaves. And like I said, I know we were enslaved and treated terribly. But the thing is, like, they like to switch up the names.
Wait.
But
What
yeah,
names did they switch it up? What did they?
like-
What names did they switch up?
because, like, for example, like, even though they treated some white people like slaves, they call it
Uh-huh.
indentured servitude. And then you
Right.
get white people, they'd be like, we wasn't treated like slaves. We were indentured servants.
It was
You
both,
know?
though. It was
Yeah,
both.
I agree.
Some of them were
I-
slaves and some of
So
them.
what's-
But yeah, I mean, black
what's the
people always
difference?
get short end of the stick, but yeah.
my
Right. So
thing
what's
is-
what's the difference to you between so there's always been two things. There was chattel and indentured
Uh-huh.
servant, right? So
Yeah.
what is the difference?
So the name, like from my knowledge, well, indentured servant, allegedly, you can pay your way out of it. You know what I'm saying? Or work your way out of it. But the thing is, like, they wasn't showing white people getting whipped and stuff like that. Or white people getting punished. They were only showing black people, being punished. And like I said, we were treated the worst out of everybody. Like, I know that. But what I'm trying to say is, like, they were painting a picture. And the Native American Foundation, the way that this whole thing was brought together was built on corruptness. And I'm saying that because, like I said, they leave out the Asians that were brought over here more recently, and they call them Native Americans. And then, for example, like, black people are Negritos from Asia that were brought here. Now they call those African Americans. So they replace, like, it seemed like they're trying to replace people in place of someone else. And as far as the natives, as far as here in the United States, we all know that some were able to pay $5 to become an Indian. And
What
also
year
we
was
know what was it, in the 1800s?
So
I
the
believe.
1800s they were able to do it.
It was either the late 1800s, I believe, or the early 1900s. I
Okay,
can't
so-
remember exactly what day it was.
Okay, so
but-
here,
Uh-huh.
let me help you out. So because this is
Uh-huh.
another thing that kind of really it really kind of irks my nerves a little bit,
Why?
because this is the reason why. Because what you're referencing is the Dawes Rolls. All right.
Okay.
So people would pay some would pay to try to get onto the Dawes Rolls. So that had a specific time. So that was your late, I want to say it's 1890 to
Right.
1914. Okay.
Right.
So what happens now is people that go off lookership will look at a picture from 1860 where you'll see a Native American in 1860, like Sitting Bull or something Thunder. I'm sorry if anybody's here and mess it up, but they'll look at those pictures and say, "Look at them. That's a $5 Indian," and that's dead wrong.
Okay. So I'm not necessarily talking about that. I'm just talking about like the process of what happened.
Yeah. But you have to, okay, so what I'm trying to get at is you have to understand where this stuff is coming from, because when you say that and you don't know dates, you're messing it up, because that's the same thing that they use to push. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
I understand you know, and you understand, but that's what happens. So like, there's been a couple times during this whole thing, will say that you don't know dates. So
yeah, the
I'm
exact
trying
dates,
to,
I don't have them on me.
right. And that's very important when you're talking about one of this and when you're trying to process this stuff, because what's going to end up happening is everything is getting jumbled together and it comes out and it's confusing.
Okay, I got you on that.
Because everything is mixed up. So you have to put things in proper chronological order.
Yeah.
So when you hear things or when you read things and they're talking about a $5 Indian, but you're in like the 1870s, that's not a $5 Indian. That's how they look.
Okay. So were they able to pay $5 to get in?
Some did that.
Okay.
But again, you're talking about the 1900s.
Right. So my thing is the foundation of what we call Native Americans, those people that are in it, not all, because I'm sure some were the Native Americans. But the thing is, like, due to the fact that the foundation of it was built on corruptness, was built with colonizers, and they were discriminating against black people, it is extremely hard to trust that whole system that they have going on. Because, like I said, they were allowed to. Were black people allowed to? They were trying to.
No,
Wait, what do you
They
mean?
wasn't. Like, were
What do
black
you?
people allowed to pay $5?
But see, that doesn't make sense. See, this is the flawed logic again. Black people are the ones who are supposed to be the Indians, right? So why would they be paying $5 to get in? And then who's selling them this $5 ticket? Ain't that supposed to be the
Exactly.
black people doing it?
So yeah. So what I'm trying to say is, like,
Or are you trying
even
to
if
say that the European and these people who are not Indians got together and said, yeah, we're going to sell people cards to become Indians? It wouldn't matter because how
no.
can you do that?
So
See,
well,
that
I mean,
shit does
but
not even make any sense. Either
but
black people are Indians, because you got to keep your logic throughout the whole thing. You
okay.
have to force it. You can't just throw it away when it don't make sense. You have to go all the way through it, even if it looked dumb, and then you got to leave it alone, because who is selling them this $5 ticket to becoming an Indian? It can't be the fake Indian, and it can't be the European, because
But
they're not those people.
so who's selling it then? Because the
That's
thing is, like,
it would have to
so
be the black Indian, right?
no, because the thing is, like, they wasn't playing a fair game. They were treating us. They was treating us terrible. You know, like I said, we were chattel slavery. So
why?
they're not playing. They're not playing it fair. They're not playing nothing fair with us. At that time, you know, the way they were treating us was terrible. Why are they treating the Native Americans good and
They're
treating
not
us
treating them
bad?
good, bro. They found a
Well,
better worker, and they were on somebody else's land. They were on foreign soil, so it was harder to deal with them, just like they tried to do plantations in Africa. It's harder to do it right there in Africa. You're dealing with people who live there in that area. They
Correct.
could pick up a snake and grab a rock and a piece of wood, carve it down, and they got a weapon. And you didn't even know what the hell happened to you. You ain't got no
yeah,
antidote or nothing at that time. So
it's
that's not a
kind of
good
strange.
idea to do. You know what I'm saying? So
Nah,
that
so
wasn't gonna,
yeah.
they spent most of their time fighting the Indians. They slaved them too, but they spent a lot of time fighting and slaughtering because they were on their land. They brought in people who came from somewhere else. They're far from home, and they're easier to control. Plus, they have already been hitting us with religion before we came over there, with Islam and Christianity. So our minds were already gone. They've been fighting us hundreds of years before they got to America. So they had
Yeah, I
other
mean,
options. That's why they were quickly say, "Hey, look, let's use the Negroes."
nah, I hear what y'all saying, but like also like follow like the corruptness, like the way that the foundation that the Native American thing is built on. Like say
It's been corrupt, man. Look. So
so we
if
can't
you
trust it. We can't
no,
trust that.
listen.
You get what I'm saying?
When you think of it like this, right? If you say you're into Black
Yeah.
history and that's the thing, right?
Mhm.
You're so concerned with every other group
No,
instead
I'm
of
making a point.
But what I'm saying is,
Mhm.
ever since the 1400s, Africans has been, they literally put Africans on the bottom in society since the 1400s. They were enslaving us. So when we get to America, we're still getting, you know, it's still bad. We weren't considered human until civil rights. But then when you also look at it, the Native Americans, they were actually called American Indians. That's always been them until the 1960s, because
And
that
was it
name was
depictions of them
derogatory.
as well? Like, you know, because you know, also, you know, they made drawings and statues of what a American Indian, you know, was represented as
It
well.
depends on the statue,
Right.
because
And
we've been intertwined for a long time. We were pretty much intertwined. Not all of us, a certain portion of us was. There was a lot of, you know, the plantations and stuff like that. But when you actually look at history, we worked together. In some instances, like the Seminoles, like the Maroons, different tribes, you know, the freedmen and stuff like that. We were working together. So we were both minority groups. But what you're trying to do is trying to pit one against the other.
Oh no,
and
I'm
then
not at all.
that's what it sounds like you're saying.
Oh no, I'm not at all. I'm just calling it what it is. You know.
Okay, so the corrupt system and the $5 Indian.
Yeah, it
but
was
then
definitely, it was built on corruption. We can't lie about that. It was definitely built on corruption because, like I said, they were bringing Asians over here, you know, as slaves that were being classified as as Indians, and then the Negritos that were brought over here from
What
the
does that got to do with
Philippines.
your history?
No, it has to do with the whole system. Like I said,
What's
it's
no. What does it have to
it
do
has
with
to do
your
with our
history?
history, because when it comes to Black people in America saying that no, some of us were already here, some of us were already here, and especially here in the Southeast or in America, we're trying to break down like why we was written out, and then how the system was built on a lie.
Do you know what proof means, right? You do know what proof means, right?
Well, the people that wrote us out give us proof.
So at what point did they write us out?
So, like I said, you have Black people in their oral history. You have Native Americans in their oral history. You have white people.
Wait. Stop. You had Black people in their oral history. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Black people in their oral history.
Oral history.
You have like your ancestors and your
like
parents, grandparents.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah. So my thing is like, Native American and white people history, oral history isn't more valuable than ours. And then the fact that we know that the Native American foundation was built on corruptness, on a lie, it makes you question everything. Like you have to be open to everything. Like you can't just shut out Black people and then be like Native Americans are true when you know that it was built on a lie.
Okay, so so let me make sure I'm getting this correct. So what you're saying, a good key is our ancestors telling us that, right?
Yeah.
It's like your grandparents, right?
Right.
So did your grandparents tell you that?
So I'm not, too close with all of mine, but one of mine.
Don't use anybody else's.
Yeah, but one of mine definitely said that we were here.
So
and also my mom said, yeah, no.
Wait.
Yeah.
You just said that you weren't.
Yeah. What I said was,
okay. So they told you
I'm not close to most, like mine like that, but like one that I spoke to definitely does says that like we were here, and Africans came here as well.
So
Africans
what year?
Came.
What year is your grandparent?
What year? Like I said, like you said, this is oral. This is oral.
Man, you got to know the year your grandparent.
She's around. No, I'm just saying like it's oral history passed down.
Right.
She's
so
around 80. She's around like 80. I think like 87 years old. Mm-hmm. Something like that. And like I said, and then my mom tell me, the same thing. They were Black people. Like, of course, there were Black people here. Like, what kind of question is that?
Okay.
And then also they were Africans here. Like, it sounds crazy to some people when we say that there was no Black people here. Oh, the South. Like, so my family's from Mississippi. Cool. I got family in Mississippi, Louisiana, and Georgia.
All right, let's see.
That's one. Yeah,
so you said Mississippi, right? And
yeah,
ancestors.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see what ancestors actually said.
Oh no, like I'm not talking about like slave, notes and notes.
Those are ancestors. That's first person accounts.
I know it happened. I'm not denying that.
Right, but if they're not saying this is my point. If you got slave narratives and people that were actually there, first person account, how come there's not one? Can you show me one from a slave narrative that said we were from the land? Those are ancestors, and they predate your ancestors, the ones that That's
so we were brought over here. We were brought over here. There should be a narrative where they said, and they came to us and attacked us and took us somewhere else. Like we should have a narrative like that.
Well, like I said, there's many, people's grandparents and parents that
you're talking about 1900s.
No, I'm talking about that oral history that has been passed down. From Black people.
Like who?
Your parents, your grandparents, and their parents. Passed down.
My grandparents ain't say that.
Mine didn't either.
And that's fine, because the thing is, like, some people, came from Africa, and then some people. Oral history says that they were already here, and then like they would think that it's really crazy when we say that there were no Black people here. Like they'd be like, "What? Of course." Yeah.
Let me ask you this too. Well, include this as well because it's part of the same thing. In the other countries they were taken to, where's the stories of those Black people in other countries? Because we can't say they just wiped them all out, right?
black people as far as
and Spain, Europe, Africa, right?
yeah.
So where there's stories at over there saying, "Hey, I was taken
Exactly.
from my homeland, America," and it's black people over there saying that. Like,
That's what
where's
I
that at?
called for. Actually, that's why I started the conversation and I wanted to talk about because Brown Girl Pride said that American Indians were taken to Europe and Africa. I believe she said like maybe 2.5 million or 5 million or something like that.
That's
And
over the whole span of time.
right, and that's fine. Like whatever happened. But the thing is, she says that all of them died off. And I'm like, what the hell? Like for example, like
no, actually, I heard her. She said that they don't really know. She didn't say all of them died off
okay,
because they either got absorbed or something else happened.
Okay, and my thing is like this, like say I'm open to the truth. Like I just want to know truth. And the thing is, when you give that answer, it's like, what the hell happened? It's like, where are they at? Where is the proof?
Okay, then let me ask you this.
No, but just follow what I'm saying. Like, where's the proof? You know what I'm saying? Because she said that they might have been absorbed, and also they died off. She said both things, and it's just like that's a shitty.
She said she didn't know because you know why? Where do you live at, man? Are you in America right now?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you want to find out where they went, what would you have to do?
Man, I fucking search. I don't fucking know. So my thing is this. So I'm looking. I'm trying to find out. Okay, where the hell are the Native Americans at? They're nowhere to be found.
No,
and
man, listen. Hold on. I was asking that question. I was asking that question to give you something to go look for. If you saying these were black people, they have the records that they're not black though. In Spain, they have Native Americans going over there. They're not black.
And
they
like
look like Native Americans.
And like I said, I'm not saying all of them.
There.
I'm not saying all of them were black. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, when they came over here, they were the Mongolian Indians and the Negro Indians. They were both here. And
there were two separate. There's Indians and Negroes. It wasn't Negro Indians. What does Negro mean?
I mean, in documents they did have. See, now as far as that, I have to pull that up for y'all. But there was definitely ones that was called Mongolian Indians, and also there was ones that were called Negro Indians. And also when they came here, they said they found Mongolian bones, and also they found Negro bones. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying this is what they said, and we have to look at it in that way. But so my thing is, so as far as going from America to Europe and Africa, like when I'm speaking to them, they said, yeah, it
back.
I hate to say this,
Negro bones that they.
It's like you're just throwing stuff together, man.
Nah, well, you're asking me. I'm trying to tell you, like, yeah, they definitely said they found Negro bones here, And my thing
they got a curve
what you mean, Negro bones? Are you talking about cranial morphology?
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, Negro skulls.
Yeah, bro.
I get it.
That was
modern
old
day
technology. They don't go off those classifications.
I know, and
you can't.
And
also with the new studies,
they
actually combine all those different ways to determine where people are from to actually come up with a more accurate analysis, comprehensive analysis. So you can't just go off of cranial morphology or dental morphology. You have to combine genetics, linguistics, culture, religion, so lithics, cave painting. So it's a combination of things that they use now. But with the cranial morphology, a lot of that terminology is old. They don't use it. Some of the terminology they have updated to be less racist because they was calling people Negroids and Mongoloids and all this other stuff.
Yeah,
and which they got better terms now, like Paleo American, just for example, Paleo Indian, just for like dealing with Native American skills.
Yeah, and my thing is like, I definitely understand where y'all coming from, and like one of my big questions with that is like, okay, when they said they found them when they came here, why wasn't this ever taught until the time it will be later debunked with modern technology? So it just makes
they
everything.
were teaching it, but
they were,
they debunked it quick. They as soon as because first they had to come up with understanding DNA and everything first. And then, so they had to come up with the technology first. But yeah, with
Shooting,
the
is
genetics
Ford still
is
waiting?
matching up with the culture.
I got you. Well, but yeah, so but as far as the American
Oh.
Indians taking, yeah. Hold on.
I was like, yo,
Right. I was like, that. I know he barked.
hey, bro, y'all building.
Yeah. Hello. I'm still
Go
here.
ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah. So my thing is my big question mark is the American Indian thing. Like being sent to Europe and Africa. And my thing is like whenever they speak on it, they say, "Oh, it was mixed out. Oh, they died off." But it's just like that's a poor explanation to me.
But you're in
I feel like
America, man.
I know, and my point, what I'm trying to say is, from everything that I have gathered, Black people were already here as well, and we were everywhere. And the thing is, like I said, when those American Indians were sent over there, not only they said,
who said we was here though?
well,
Like you gotta have proof beyond like a shadow of a doubt. What's the like empirical evidence to say, you know what, we was over here and this is the land of the blacks. We can't say that for ourselves here, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like we can't, you know what I mean? We can't say, yo, this is
like who pulled up and started talking to each other in like Spanish. Was like we saw like brown. Oh shit, niggas. Like who wrote that?
So my thing is, like just based on all of the old texts and certain things that were said, they said they saw dark brown people. They said that they saw Negro skulls and also Mongolian skulls, and then they have depictions of both people. So back in that time, if you're saying Negro skulls, you're talking about Black people. And then when they say that the people were dark brown, and also when they said that they were Mongolian people here, and those people were lighter skin or red with straighter hair, like I feel like we can't really just dismiss that. And then when they said that they took American Indians to Europe and Africa.
Okay, you keep saying that, like, right? Do you? I mean, that might have happened. I mean, they took Africans to Europe too. I mean, some of the Moors got blended in. I mean, I'm not understanding that point. And
so
what you're referencing that.
Also, wait, hold on with the skull thing too, bro. Another reason why they don't do that, especially with melanated people, is our skulls are like similar. So, like for example, what they thought what it might have been like a Negroid could have been more closely related to like the Southeast Asian populations that they now call Paleo American.
Yeah.
So they're like so. Yeah, they don't even call them Negro. They call Paleo American, which is related to people from South Asia.
Yeah,
you gotta understand there was a racist. I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off, but there was like a racist classification going on at that time. You had a lot of racist people that was in these scientific arenas and stuff like that will say certain shit like that. But as science advanced, as evidence kind of was more compelling, you were able to separate certain things and not having to call them certain things that like Oriental. We shouldn't be saying that. Like that's a whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah. I mean, I agree. I definitely understand, but I feel this is something.
Plus also, bro, like the culture don't match up. So I know you keep bringing up the cranial morphology, but the culture don't match up as well. Like the linguistics, everything, all that stuff matches up too. Like as far as like migratory patterns, lithics, stone tools and artifacts and stuff like that that have to match with those people.
Yeah, I see, but also like for example, there's certain cultural things that the people in South America do that East Africans do, and East Africans were here first, like on this planet. And my thing is like, for example, this is something that people don't talk about.
To migration.
And that's
migration,
fine.
People hold on to those practices and not still being the same people.
That's what I was trying to tell you, bro. Like these people, the arrows in Africa are so fucking old that they could have easily just kept. Yeah, amongst other things.
You're
gonna carry your weapons with you. You know what I'm saying? When you leaving, you're moving out. You gonna take
Nah,
your weapons over there with you?
That was Smack, I think.
So other
nah,
things.
Hey, I agree. And really what I'm talking about, like for example, something that people don't point out is the lip plates. So the lip plate, you know, they do it in South America and also they do it in East Africa. You know, like the big lips. I mean, the plate.
Yeah, they
You know,
do that
they
in
put,
Asia too.
yeah, they do it in Asia. And the thing is, in Africa, those people are black. In Asia, in Southern Asia, where they do it, the original people there are black and they're still there. And then in
But
America,
it's not just dark skinned people doing those custom though.
yeah, it's light skinned people doing it too. But
Yeah.
the thing is light skinned people and dark skinned people. But the thing is like there's dark skinned people that were there first and they're doing it. So my thing is like what makes America different. And so then like when you start looking at these journals and stuff, and then they're saying that they're seeing these dark brown people.
Man, hold on. Oh no, wait.
Yeah.
Because let me ask you this, man. So remember in the very beginning, I told you that the main evidence for the black people or African or whatever you want to say being in America was Columbus, correct?
I mean, yeah, I guess so, huh?
Okay, if that's not, what other evidence do you have that says that black people were here before 1492? Because I read the first person account, his actual translated thing that everybody else gets it from, and there was no black there. There was none.
Are you saying like from when they first started documenting?
They wrote journals for a long time.
So, yeah.
There's no literature saying that there was a large number of land of black people here when you see these early recorded accounts. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Now we're not arguing about dark melanated looking like people here, right? But that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is it seems like everybody's trying to put us here in a large number prior to the contact of the European.
Yeah, I don't think so, because like, you know, I know people migrated, and black people, I know we migrated a lot. And like, for example, like you still see people migrating a lot now. So if they're doing it now, they were definitely doing it back then as well.
No.
We weren't here, dog.
No.
So
because you keep going back to it. Like every time we're explaining that. So Columbus didn't say he saw that. That was the first time that they seen America. He didn't see black people, even though people tried to say he did.
I'm about to show y'all what he saw.
Original
text.
I
get it, but like what part of America was he at when he saw those people?
Okay, so here you go.
You know what I'm saying?
So here, I'll explain it this way. Columbus didn't see none where he went. You had Olida, I think I'm saying that correct. You had different conquistadors that went all through South America. Nobody said anything about any Negro or Ethiopia until 1513. That's the only time that they did that, and they said it was a shipwreck in the mountains. Now
they don't know it. They don't know it was a shipwreck. They have no idea. You know,
they said that it was.
They
said in the text. This is Peter Martyr, the decades, the third decade. They said that there was a Negro shipwreck that was in the mountains.
Oh, okay? Brother. So the thing is, they don't know if they were speculating if Ethiopians came here because they didn't know how these black people were there when they arrived. So like I said, they did. No. I read it too, and the thing is like and so the Ethiopian pirates. You know, that came. So they were calling them Ethiopian pirates. And the thing is like they didn't know how they got there. They assumed that, okay, they might have shipwrecked. They don't know because when they got there, they were already there. You know what I'm saying?
They said they spoke with while they were going through, they said that there was Negro slaves that were in the mountain. And even at that point, so listen, even at that point, 1513, let's say,
can you read that to me?
You want me to read it to you?
Yeah, because
sure will.
Like from what I saw, you know, Querequa, I believe it's called, was I believe maybe Panama.
Hey, real quick. I'm gonna let you ride. Whenever the Spaniards got here in Peru, right? These are some of the pottery images that you would see that came out of that area, right? Now this
Yeah.
Peru, this is you can find this this particular site, just for clarity, this is the World History of Encyclopedia. Now you see a lot of images like this, right? A lot of people will look at this and the first thing they think, this is us, because you see an African looking nose and maybe some African looking lips. But I'm here to tell you, man, this is not us. This is not our people, though. But hold on, let me finish. It says this portrait is the head of the Moche man of Peru, Moche culture between the 1st and 7th century. So this would put these people over here prior to Columbus. But these aren't our people, man. I'm gonna just show you what happened when these Spaniards got here. When they arrived in Peru, they found this going on. These are the same people that they saw, right? And I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just saying this is history. It says the arrival of the Spanish and the banning of homosexuality. It says once the Spanish arrived in the 16th century, so this is like the 1500s. This is the time. This is that time frame that we were talking about.
Yeah.
They were astonished to see these type of activities. And if you look at this pottery, man, this ain't us, bro. Look at what they're doing.
So my thing, I feel what you're saying. Yeah. I feel what you're saying.
And hold on though, like this is listen now. They got lashes for this. I want you to understand what happened and what they saw. And this is a culture that was going on. This is the behavior that they came in contact with. The Spaniards arrived. They was astonished to see that. Toledo is one of the dudes. He ordered the natives. Whoever caught cohabitating outside the church sanctuary will receive 100 lashes for that, and for anybody that I got this highlighted right here that you'd be put to the stake for these types of activities. If you look at all of the ceramics, right, they are not us. This stuff go way back. Now, if this,
and they're dark brown. You can have their dark brown, their copper colored. You can have all of that. That's not an issue because, as you can see, that you still have that color, but it doesn't look like you and me.
Right, that ain't us, man. So a lot of people make this mistake when they see this lookership. You dig what I'm saying? Like, don't make the mistake, brother, of seeing an image like this and not understanding the true culture of these people, and then you might associate that with you, and then you don't even understand that. Hold up, when the Spanish got to these people, this is what they was really doing. This is kind of what they was on over there. You know what I'm saying? And no disrespect to anybody who might be in this lifestyle or nothing. I just want to point out things for just educational purposes and shit like that. But I'm gonna go ahead and close my screen because I know my man want to share too. But yeah, so we didn't have this. That's not our culture over here. Like we wasn't rocking like that in Africa. And there's like they didn't say they were in the land of the blacks when they got over here. There's another thing too. There's a whole map that I had. I'm even gonna pull it up right now. Where you see one black dude in the map that was brought over by those conquistadors that Rob was telling you about, right? But this ain't our lands, man. And I think people just made that confusion. There's a lot of stuff going on the internet. I can understand how people can be a victim of it. But if you look at the historical record, which these brothers are trying to show you, including myself, just look at the record and just look at these artifacts. You know what I mean? And just kind of make sense out of it. Go ahead, bro. I'm gonna let you talk.
And like I say, like I definitely follow, what y'all are saying. But like I say, like from my knowledge, from what I see, the foundation of the Native American thing was built on, to me, on corruptness from what I'm reading. And the thing is, like, for example, say when certain people show like pictures of people in Mexico or in Southern America, and then they're putting them next to like Olmec heads and stuff like that, they're not taking into account that those people are mixed race people. And the reason why I know this is because I have family that are Mexicans, and they're mixed race, coming from a black great grandpa, and then he had kids, and then his kids had children with a Asian or a pale Mexican, and then the kids come out looking just like the people that they're showing next to the Olmec heads. And
I have a question.
yeah.
My bad. I know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everyone, do you find it harder to believe that do you find it harder to believe that the amount of people that might have been enslaved and shipped over here, you find that hard to believe? Do you find it you more believe on the weight of like, well, it couldn't have been all of those people. I rather believe that there was more people here than there was people being shipped over. Is that kind of where you're standing at? Because I'm feeling like
Damn.
that's where a lot of people at right now.
Honestly, just based off of what I'm reading, and then also the lies that we were told. So I haven't even studied the African slave trade because I read
Oh my God!
No. I mean, like I haven't studied the numbers because because in my head I already believe it. Like
okay,
I don't reject it. So I haven't studied. So I haven't studied those numbers to research all of them ships, all of the numbers.
Okay, I tell you, dude, I'm gonna let my man ride with. Okay, I got you. I'm gonna let my man ride with his joint. Follow us, man. Look at what we got, man. You came on here real cool, but like just pay attention to our primaries, man, because we all be putting in work. And look at them, man, and understand that we ain't trying to like lie about this stuff, man. Everything that he's showing you and I'm showing you are pretty much primary stuff.
So and if you need to, next time when you like more prepared or whatever, or not busy and moving around and shit, you can just bring your links. Just make sure when you come across it throughout your day or whatever, or throughout the week, just save it. And when you come up here, we're gonna let you bring it up, or we'll pull it up for you. If you doing something, we'll pull it up and go over.
All right, that's cool. That's cool then.
Okay, so this right here.
Hold on, Joe. I got about 4 more minutes and then I'm out.
Okay, so this right here is the Peter Martyr book, the decades. Now this is the actual translated version. So the other one, I'm not sure if you've read this one. This is the 8 decades.
Yeah.
So the other one that's out is actually in a different book that references this 8 decades, but that translation is a faulty translation. I can go over that later. But this translation is a guy that was ordained, and he translated the book of Las Casas and everything else. So this translation.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. Yeah, I seen it.
So it says the Spaniards found Negro slaves. So Negro slaves in this province. That means they're already slaves at that time. They only live a region 1 day's march from Quarca, and they are fierce and cruel. It is thought that the Negro pirates of Ethiopia established themselves after the wreck of their ships in these mountains. So now, do you see it's 286 pages? That was the only time through that whole trek that they've been doing that they found Negroes, and they encountered a whole bunch of natives.
Right.
Now, just north of that is Haiti and Santo Domingo, where slavery was still ongoing during that same time. And this is 1513. So during that same time, you also had pirates that also commandeered ships there. So they were all in that area. So my main thing to you, this is what you have to. Okay,
I already read it. Yeah, I already read it, and it didn't make any sense to me. And the reason why it didn't make any sense to me because it's contradicting itself in the same sentence. So this is from the 1900s, I believe.
No, this is from the 1500s.
No, I'm talking about the translation. This translation is from the 1900s. So by that time, by the 1900s, that's when they started the indoctrination. That's when you started hearing stuff like Columbus discovered America. You know, they put slave on every single thing when it comes to black people. You know, they got caught, making fake bones of white people to say white people were here first. That's when the trickery started. And in that sentence, whenever you're reading it, they're saying slave, but then also they're saying they don't know how the people got here because
they're saying it was pirates. They thought they were pirates.
Yeah, exactly.
And there was a ship. There was a ship there.
Ethiopian pirates.
Right. Do you know where the Negroes were at that time?
No. I understand what you're saying, but like follow what I'm saying. Like it's contradicting itself. It's calling them like they're putting slave on everything, but then they're saying
no.
I'm talking about right here in the sentence. They're saying like, okay, slave, but then we don't know how these people got here. Ethiopia.
Whoa, you got it. Yeah, you do. You do know how. There's a story behind how the Africans got there because remember In the 1400s, they were snatching Africans off of the coast, bringing them to these areas. So as early as that, you dig what I'm saying? So there's an origin behind where we find these Negroes that might be scattered out in these areas, right? That you might come across in the 1500s and be like, where they come from?
And I understand from that point of view. Like, for example, like you're pretty much saying, you know, African slaves were brought here, or Negroes, whatever, were brought here, and then those people might have escaped and then went to different areas, and then by the time the Spaniards got here, the Spaniards found those black people. Like
the Spaniards were already in the area. This is 1513.
That was the Spaniard though, right? The ones that seen them, I believe. Yeah, exactly. So I'm saying is like when the Spaniard, those Spaniard groups seen them, they didn't know where they were from. So my thing is like, so my thing is like we can't put a label on it when we don't know.
Okay, you know? So here's another thing. So this is the last thing I want to leave you with. This is 1513, right?
Mm-hmm.
During that time, you had another conquistador in that same exact area for almost 10 years, right? His name was Olito. I think it's Olito, right? So from 1498 to 1511, he was in that area with a settlement. They didn't see any Negroes at all.
In 10 years, bro?
None.
How long he was in there? 10 years?
10 years.
So like in that area, like for example, like from my knowledge, from what I'm reading now, you know, and based off what people are saying now with the new studies, is that those black people that might have been, you know, more in southern Mexico or in central, but like let's say southern Mexico, they might have migrated up to what we call the United States of America in the southeast region.
That's 1498, man. 1498.
No, I know, but what I'm trying to say is like there might not have been that many black people in that area by that time, you know, because like I said, black people move to different spots, or people move to different spots all the time, you know, and if the people there.
So let me ask you this, man.
Yeah,
you need to believe this, don't you?
No, like I used to be a Christian. I believed in I used to be a Christian in everything. And then
but it sounds like you really need to believe this, because everything that we're telling you, you're saying, yeah, I already know. But then you repeat it back like you didn't listen to what happened.
No, I listened, but like, for example, like that text is up in the air. And I understand what y'all saying as far as like people were being brought here. But the thing is like, how do we know that those people?
But that's the exact opposite, though. He just showed you earlier that these people were telling you what they thought about what they read, which triggered people who do actual research to go back to what they were referring to, because they were talking about what they thought it meant instead of just translating it word for word and then backing off of it so everybody can see the documented history. They read the shit and started telling people what they said it mean. They gave their own interpretation of it. So that one was up in the air. The ones that everybody used, that's up in the air because it's people who don't even speak that original language looking at another translation in a different language and then giving their opinion about it.
Yeah.
So this is the actual. These are the sources, the primaries, which means a primary means you can't get no better. It's the exact source, the only one that can get close to the actual fact.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And like I say, you know, I definitely looked at, you know, at those sentences.
Hold on, because I'm wait. I said that, but I'm closing off too.
Okay, yeah, I got you.
But I just wanted to tell people to go check y'all email. That's all I got to say. Y'all make sure y'all go check y'all emails.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, check them emails, man, so we can get the shit pop.
Yeah.
Peace.
That. Yeah, peace, man. Hey, man, I commend you, man. You came up here, man, with respect, man, and we all appreciate that shit, because
definitely.
We can walk with you. You know what I'm saying? And that's all right. And like Mo said, if you got like information that you want to bring and all of that to just talk about, because this is a discussion, and this ain't really a debate. We're just discussing and stuff like that. Feel free to go ahead and do it, but take a look at the videos and stuff that we put in pertaining to the subject matter, man. I think you'll get a lot out of it, because we put in the work, and then we got primaries. I mean, if you look, you can get these primaries, man, and I think that's what it's all about, man. I mean, we don't like hearing stuff not backed by primary either. So a lot of this, I don't like saying anything unless I got a primary and then other sources that can back it up. And that's kind of what we got. And when you look at, and that's what we call the historical record. And when you look at that, it's just not having, in my opinion, and what the record says is not really saying that you have a large presence of like a large what you call them African American presence, whatever you want to call us,
Right.
us being over here prior. And we've never said as a whole, right, that there never wasn't. We're not in absolutes when it comes to that. We didn't say there was absolutely no black people over here. You dig what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what we're saying is we need the proof to back it up, and it's just hard. You dig what I'm saying? The probability is real low when you look at everything on the historical record. That's all. But I'm gonna leave out with that, man. Good talking to you, man.
All right,
Hopefully
y'all.
we'll see you again.
All right, and I just want to say that before I back out. I appreciate the conversation. Like you were saying, it's a marathon. History is, it's a lot of work. There's a lot of different avenues, and just a lot of different things like that. The only thing that I would always recommend and always say is make sure that you look at the information that you receive, because a lot of this information that you get is not genuine. I spent a lot of time, when you like I did with the We Come from Columbus, where you have to see where somebody else gets their source and see if it's an exact translation. Because most of the times, just like Port was saying, they translate it from like a French to a Spanish back to English, and there's a lot of mistranslation. So everything that I try to read to you or I try to get through is just make sure you get that very primary, pure source that you can, and then make a determination in finding that. It's about finding things. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I got you. Yeah, I definitely got you though.
So next time, man, get some dates. Make sure, most important thing, dates. Dates are important. Very important.
Oh yeah.
Right.
I got you next time though. Whenever I come back.
That's what's up. All right. So y'all have a good one. Peace to the chat.
All right, y'all.
Right.
All right, y'all. We're about to go on close out. We'll see y'all. We probably do one tomorrow. We probably spin up tomorrow. What you got, Bant?
Nothing to say in peace. All right, bro. All right, y'all.
All right. Yeah, we can definitely go do a recap on them slave ships. Because I know Port he'll talk about his Dutch West Indies. I'll talk about my chapter 10 in my book. Well, I can go to chapter. I think it's chapter 4 and chapter 10 where they was having that masquerade ball, and they was dancing on top of the slaves that was in the basement, all the way down to the that sketch that they took in was it like 1780 or 1808 between that time. Can definitely go over that again. Unless Port find it, because I know it's on his page. We did it on his stream. We didn't do it on my stream. We did that one on his stream. So if he looked for it, he can post it up, and then we'll just play it. We'll play it, and then we'll just stop it whenever we need to, and then we'll just talk about the information. Because I don't know if we're gonna be able to talk about the information like we talked about it there then, and bring it up like we brought it up on that stream. So with that, we'll see y'all tomorrow. I don't know what time. Y'all let me know, but everybody, y'all try to get some sleep. Like you're gonna hit the TikTok streets. So I'll see y'all tomorrow. All right.